Chapter 995. A puny Tao molding divine emperor, an ant that he thought he could kill with one slap, easily killed a Tao actualization divine emperor like him. Why was life so stifling? Ning Cheng's spear swept and the Tao actualization divine emperor's body turned into a power that seeped into the second bridge. The storage ring fell into Ning Cheng's hand. 2 Tao actualization divine emperors were killed by Ning Cheng directly or indirectly. The other 2 Tao actualization divine emperors fighting the white-robed woman and Ho Fu immediately shivered in fear. Before they had time to think more, the blood river beneath their feet suddenly churned, and a violent wind immediately wrapped around the 2 of them. Since Ning Cheng had dealt with his opponent, he could naturally control the first bridge of coping to deal with these 2 fellows. Ning Cheng didn't even continue to attack. With the help of the first bridge, the 2 Tao actualization divine emperors were killed by the white-robed woman and Ho Fu. The white-robed woman and Ho Fu didn't even dare to take the storage ring and rushed out of the bridge. They were worried that Ning Cheng would have evil intentions and leave them in the bridge as well. If Ning Cheng truly harbored evil intentions, then he could indeed leave these 2 people behind on the bridge of coping. In fact, even if Ning Cheng wanted to keep these 2, he didn't have enough power right now. Controlling the first bridge of coping and the second bridge of village gazing consumed too much of his energy. In fact, Ning Cheng never thought about killing these 2 allies. If it weren't for these 2, it would have been very hard for him to escape from these 5 Tao actualization divine emperors. Before the white-robed woman and Ho Fu could walk out of the bridge, they found that it had disappeared. Ning Cheng was standing in front of the 2. The other 5 Tao actualization divine emperors were nowhere to be seen. The white-robed woman and Ho Fu took in a cold breath. They had definitely never seen such a powerful Tao molding divine emperor. Ning Cheng couldn't be any more heaven-defying. Once this 7 bridges spirit art was fully refined, no one in the entire Great Essence realm would be his opponent. Lu Fonglin greets Tao friend. Thank you senior apprentice brother for helping. The white-robed woman didn't dare to treat Ning Cheng as a Tao molding divine emperor anymore. She quickly greeted him with a cultivator's greeting. With just a salute, her charm was fully displayed. Ho Fu hurriedly cupped his fists and said, Heavenly Dipper Pills Sex Ho Fu greets Tao friend. Thank you for your help. Ning Cheng quickly returned the courtesy, I am called Ning Cheng, a rogue cultivator. Everyone was helping each other just now. If it weren't for the 2 of you, I would have been in danger myself. It's a pity that one of you got away. Lu Fonglin and Ho Fu took in a cold breath. 1 Tao molding divine emperor killed 4 Tao actualization divine emperors and 1 got away. 2 of the 4 Tao transformation experts had been killed by them, and Lu Fonglin had even killed 2 of them by herself. However, she and Ho Fu were very clear in their hearts, that they were able to kill their opponents, it was all because of Ning Cheng's help. In other words, without Ning Cheng, even if they faced any 2 Tao actualization divine emperors, they would only be able to protect themselves. Facing 5 Tao actualization divine emperors, he could only wait for death. As for Ning Cheng saying that he was a rogue cultivator, Lu Fonglin and Ho Fu simply would not believe it. Are loose cultivators that powerful? If rogue cultivators were so powerful, then everyone would become rogue cultivators. Ning Cheng took out 2 rings and handed them to Lu Fonglin and Ho Fu before speaking, these are the spoils of war for the 2 of you. Lu Fonglin and Ho Fu quickly refused. We wouldn't dare. If it weren't for fellow Taoist Ning's 7 bridges trapping them, we wouldn't have been able to kill them. Ning Cheng saw that the 2 of them really did not want to accept it, so he put away the ring and spoke, I still have a few questions, and would like to consult the 2 of you. What was a burial shadow demon? Why can't I get out even after escaping here? Lu Fonglin knew that Ning Cheng probably did not understand much about the burial shadow blue sand, as such she simply explained, the most terrifying thing about the burial shadow blue sand is the burial shadow fiends, as there are countless burial shadow fiends within the burial shadow blue sand. These burial shadow fiends are hidden in the blue sand. We can't see them with our divine senses or our naked eyes. Ning Qing suddenly remembered that he had been bitten by a giant mouth that even his spiritual consciousness could not sweep past. If not for the protection of the everlasting Blue Thunder City, perhaps he would have already died. Dao friend Lu, when I was escaping, I was bitten by something that I couldn't see, nor could my spiritual consciousness sweep past. Was it a burial shadow demon? Ning Qing asked. After Lu Fanglin heard Ning Cheng's words, her expressions immediately changed. She nodded after a while. It was also a burial shadow demon, but the burial shadow demon we are talking about is not this kind. Rather, it is a burial shadow demon that can call out the name, Ji Omru. Generally, if you become the target of this burial shadow demon, you would not be lucky enough to survive. In the burial shadow blue sand, there are countless of those invisible giant mouths that you mentioned. These are all demons that are growing up. They generally only come out once, and if they can't kill their opponent, they would immediately go into hiding. Of the people who enter the burial shadow blue sand, half of them end up devoured by the burial shadow demons, while the other half end up dying in other places. Lu Fanglin's expressions immediately changed. Ning Qing could see it clearly, but he did not ask about it. Instead, he asked, "What does Ji Omru mean?" Ho Fu, who was listening on the side, suddenly spoke up, "Ji Omru means delicious." Ning Qing felt dumbfounded. Delicious? Delicious enough to scare away many holy emperors? Lu Fanglin spoke up with a solemn voice, "Brother Ning, don't underestimate these 4 words. These 4 words have endless magical power. Generally, only the most powerful burial shadow demons would say these 4 words. It means that human flesh and essence spirit taste delicious." Once these 4 words appeared, the endless burial shadow fiends would gather and search this area. Even a Tao Essence Holy Emperor would find it hard to escape if they were targeted by these burial shadow demons. The reason why I told you not to leave this place was because I was sure that the blue sand outside was already filled with burial shadow demons. Perhaps, no one would be able to survive. Then what is this place? It seems to be protected by an array formation. Ning Qing pointed to the crisp green grass around him and asked. Lu Fanglin continued to explain, "This is the place where people gather divine grasses and top-grade heavenly treasures in the burial shadow blue sand. Some people say that it was arranged by a senior powerhouse. Generally, this place is called the Valley of Life. There are many such Valley of Life in the burial shadow blue sand, and in front of each Valley of Life, there is a devil-rejecting lake. No matter how powerful the burial shadow demons are, they can't pass through the devil-rejecting lake. However, someone should have come to this Valley of Life a long time ago. Therefore, although there are many divine grasses here, they aren't particularly precious. If you want particularly precious divine grasses, you can only go to the Valley of Life that no one has ever entered before. Finding such a place can only depend on luck." Ning Qing asked in confusion, "Since someone has come here before, shouldn't there be no divine grasses here?" Lu Fanglin spoke up patiently, "These divine grasses are all at the edge of the Valley of Life. It's dangerous to collect each divine grass. If you're not careful, you might get sucked into the rolling blue sand again. I also want to ask the 2 of you, have you heard of the hidden beautiful star gold leaf?" This was Ning Cheng's main purpose for coming to the burial shadow blue sand. Lu Fanglin and Ho Fu both shook their heads, indicating that they had never heard of the hidden beautiful star gold leaf in the burial shadow blue sand. "Many thanks for dispelling my doubts." Ning Qing cupped his fists and thanked her. This woman was too tempting. Looking at him, it felt as if his entire body was trembling along with the curve of her body. Moreover, it was unconscious. Such a tempting woman, Ning Qing really didn't want to stay with her. Looking at Ho Fu's appearance, Ning Qing guessed that he also loved Lu Fanglin to the bone. After saying goodbye to Ning Qing, Lu Fanglin and Ho Fu walked a few dozen meters inside before suddenly stopping again. Lu Fenglin looked back at Ning Cheng and said, "Brother Ning, the buried shadow demons have a terrifying nature. That is, once you get bitten by a buried shadow demon. As long as you appear in the burial shadow blue sand a day later, it will attract countless buried shadow demons. Moreover, you can't stay in the Valley of Life for more than half a month. If you stay for more than half a month, you will be directly sent out of the Valley of Life." Ning Cheng finally understood why Lu Fenglin's expression changed when he said that he was bitten by a buried shadow demon. It turned out to be because of this reason. Lu Fenglin and Ho Fu's figures quickly disappeared. Ning Cheng stopped and carefully checked his body with his spiritual consciousness several times. He didn't find anything wrong with his body, but he suddenly started to doubt Lu Fenglin's words. Maybe that buried shadow demon had just bitten his everlasting blue thunder fort, and it didn't have much of an impact on him. Despite these thoughts, Ning Cheng's heart still filled with vigilance. He had to be a lot more careful when advancing through the Valley of Life. This Valley of Life made Ning Cheng think about a lot. It wasn't that he was suspicious, but rather that he suspected the motives of the senior who arranged this Valley of Life. If it really was to save people from the burial shadow blue sand, why did he limit it to 15 days? But then again, if not to save people, why did the senior arrange the Valley of Life in the burial shadow blue sand? Moreover, why did he plant so many precious divine grasses on the edge of the Valley of Life? On the second day after entering the Valley of Life, Ning Cheng encountered a devil cloth grass. Just as Lu Fenglin said, this devil cloth grass grew on the edge of the Valley of Life. It looked like the blue sand was rolling around. If he rashly picked it, he might really end up getting sucked into the burial shadow blue sand again. Ning Cheng didn't pick this devil cloth grass. Devil cloth grass was also a relatively precious divine grass. Ning Cheng had a lot of these things in his medicine garden, so he didn't put them in his eyes at all. Walking along the Valley of Life, Ning Cheng saw more and more divine grasses. He even saw the scarce blood moon immortal lotus. However, Ning Cheng didn't touch these divine grasses. In any case, he couldn't turn a deaf ear to Lu Fenglin's words. On the seventh day, Ning Cheng finally saw a scarlet cloud wave root, a divine grass useful to him. The scarlet cloud wave root was an auxiliary divine grass for refining the true extreme spiritual restoration pill. Although Ning Cheng already had more than a dozen of them, he didn't mind having more of them. Ning Cheng brought out the everlasting blue thunder fort and carefully walked to the edge of the Valley of Life. His hand hadn't even touched the scarlet cloud wave root when several auras rushed over. Ning Cheng no longer cared about picking up the scarlet cloud wave root. Activating the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, he quickly left the place. Even so, his everlasting blue thunder city once again ended up being bitten by the invisible giant mouth, causing it to erupt with a burst of thunder light. Ning Cheng looked back and saw a blue vortex swirling around the edge of the scarlet cloud wave root. Ning Cheng couldn't help but think that if he had been a little bit slower, this vortex would have swept him away. Ning Cheng didn't want this scarlet cloud wave root anymore. He had just carefully retreated when he heard a shrill scream. Ning Cheng and Lu Fenglin had talked for a long time, so he immediately recognized this voice. It was the charming widow Lu Fenglin who had left with Ho Fu before. Chapter 996. Ning Cheng's spiritual sense immediately scanned over, and a weak shielding restriction appeared in front of Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng's spiritual sense didn't hesitate and directly tore the restriction apart. This was the burial shadow blue sand, not anyone's private place. Ning Cheng didn't feel embarrassed breaking the restriction. After the restriction was broken, Ning Cheng saw more than a dozen figures, ranging from Dao sculpting to Dao transformation. Lu Fenglin had an ice thorn nailed to her chest. She sat paralyzed on the ground with an extremely painful expression on her face. Ning Cheng's spiritual sense scanned the ice thorn and immediately understood why Lu Fenglin was in so much pain. Because the ice thorn had the effect of tearing one's soul apart, it was called soul ice thorn. No one would be able to bear the pain if they were hit by this kind of soul ice thorn. Not far from Lu Fonglin, Ho Fu's battle dragon pill cauldron floated above his head. However, he looked just as dispirited as before. Apparently, he was also seriously injured. Ning Qing soon saw another acquaintance. It was the Tao Transformation Holy Emperor who escaped from his 7 bridges. These people were surrounding a restriction, and the restriction had not been broken yet. When Ning Cheng's spiritual sense entered the restriction and found something inside, his eyes lit up. It turned out to be a Pill Heart Immortal Ganoderma fruit tree. The Pill Heart Immortal Ganoderma fruit was an extremely rare Tao Transformation Tao fruit. It didn't need to be refined into a medicinal pill and could be consumed directly. The Pill Heart Immortal Ganoderma fruit was an extremely rare Tao Transformation Tao fruit. It didn't need to be refined into a medicinal pill and could be consumed directly. It was a top-grade healing sacred fruit. If a holy emperor under the Tao Transformation realm took it after being seriously injured, it would be more powerful than a Tao Transformation Tao pill. More importantly, there was a Longan-sized medicinal pill in the center of the Pill Heart Immortal Ganoderma fruit. This medicinal pill wasn't refined, but a heaven-grade medicinal pill. In addition to being a sacred healing pill, this medicinal pill also contained alchemy Dao Dao runes, which could help alchemists perceive the alchemy Dao and comprehend the alchemy Dao Dao runes. When Ning Qing saw this Dao fruit tree, his twin wings of the heavenly clouds flashed, and he instantly rushed over. When he arrived outside the restriction, he directly lifted his hand and broke it. The people, who were discussing how to divide the Dao fruits, immediately looked at Ning Cheng when Ning Cheng tore open the restriction. When these people saw that Ning Cheng was just a Dao molding holy emperor, they immediately became angry. A mere Dao molding divine emperor dared to tear someone else's restriction. This was suicide. That Dao actualization divine emperor saw Ning Cheng come over and his face changed. He looked down and subconsciously took 2 steps back. When the seriously injured Lu Fonglin and Ho Fu saw Ning Cheng coming over, their faces immediately lit up. Although Ning Cheng's cultivation level was low and he had directly torn apart the restriction set up by a Dao transformation powerhouse, no one stood up to speak. Which one of the people who came here was not an old fox? Even if the sky collapsed, there would be someone taller to hold it up. Whoever had laid down the restrictions here would naturally be the one to take the lead. If they could get an extra piece of fruit by stepping up, they would have done so a long time ago. Since there were no benefits, no one wanted to get involved. A Dao actualization divine emperor stepped forward and said coldly, "Dao friend, you're too cocky. You just tore open my restriction. Are you relying on your power?" However, he did not immediately attack Ning Cheng. He knew that anyone who could enter the burial shadow blue sand field would not be without a few moves. Ning Cheng's cultivation might not be good, but since he dared to do such a thing, it showed that Ning Cheng might have a very powerful background. Perhaps he came from a big sect or a big family. If there was no one here, he could just kill Ning Cheng and no one would know. But there were many people here. Ning Cheng scanned this Dao actualization divine emperor. Dao actualization divine emperor primary stage, weaker than the Dao actualization divine emperor he just killed. No, but 2 of my friends were injured. I want to ask them about it. Ning Cheng pointed at the Dao actualization divine emperor who escaped the 7 bridges god art. Tell me, who injured my friends? Ning Cheng didn't have to get revenge for Lu Fonglin and Ho Fu. He came here later. Since he wanted to split the Dao fruit, he naturally had to find an excuse. The divine emperors were dazed. Ning Cheng was just a Dao molding divine emperor. Other than the heavily injured Lu Fonglin and Ho Fu, there were 6 Dao actualization divine emperors and 5 Dao nourishment divine emperors. There were even 4 Dao molding divine emperors like Ning Cheng. What was this person's background? He dared to point at a Dao actualization divine emperor and say, "You tell me, who injured my friends?" How cocky did he have to be to say something like this? Even the Tao Actualization Divine Emperor who said Ning Cheng was cocky didn't speak for a while. He wanted to see how this Tao Actualization Divine Emperor would deal with this. If this Tao Actualization Divine Emperor could kill Ning Cheng, that would be for the best. This Tao Actualization Divine Emperor was too scared of Ning Cheng. As a Tao Actualization Divine Emperor, he couldn't show too much weakness. He could only snort coldly. How would this emperor know? It definitely wasn't done by this emperor. Everyone looked at this Tao Actualization Divine Emperor in confusion. Although his words were harsh, everyone could see that he was just putting up a strong front. At this moment, no one treated Ning Cheng as a Tao Molding Divine Emperor anymore. If Ning Cheng was really an ordinary Tao Molding Divine Emperor, this Tao Actualization Divine Emperor would have killed Ning Cheng just based on what he said and not that he didn't do it. Ning Cheng felt pity. He obviously didn't want to ask who injured Lu Fonglin and Ho Fu. If he really wanted to ask about this, he could just ask Lu Fonglin and Ho Fu. He wanted to find an excuse to kill this Tao Actualization Divine Emperor. His Seven Bridges God Art's first bridge had just formed. Although it was powerful, his cultivation level was too weak. This Tao Actualization Divine Emperor escaped from his 7 bridges. He didn't want the 7 bridges to be exposed, so he wanted to kill him. This Tao Actualization Divine Emperor seemed to know what Ning Cheng was thinking and answered Ning Cheng's question. Ning Cheng couldn't find an excuse. Ning Cheng didn't keep finding excuses. After all, Lu Fonglin and Ho Fu knew about the 7 bridges. These 2 people could only be said to have met by chance, and they would definitely not help him keep his secret. Even if he wanted to keep the 7 bridges secret, he couldn't convince himself to kill Lu Fonglin and Ho Fu. So what if it was exposed? He was a Tao Molding Divine Emperor. Why would he be afraid of his God Art being exposed? Thinking about this, Ning Cheng wanted to remove the soul ice thorns on Lu Fonglin's chest. A cold voice said, "They were injured by this emperor. What can you do?" "I can't do anything." Ning Cheng flicked out a pill. "Take the pill and kill this guy with me." Ning Cheng's pill was for Ho Fu. With the help of his Tao pill, Ho Fu would recover very quickly. Ho Fu heard Ning Cheng's words and swallowed the pill without hesitation. He didn't think Ning Cheng would harm him. If Ning Cheng really wanted to kill him, he would have killed him in the 7 bridges. He wouldn't wait until now. The Tao Actualization Divine Emperor sneered. Ho Fu's injuries would take at least a few days to recover even if he took a top-grade healing god pill. He did not wait for Ning Cheng to speak again. His entire person flew up, and a huge heaven-piercing scissors appeared in his hand, ignoring the space between him and Ning Cheng. A majestic killing intent swept out from it. The surrounding divine emperors quickly put up restrictions to defend against this raging wave of killing intent. Ning Cheng opened his hand and a spear appeared in his hand. He didn't use the 7 bridges spirit art. Although he had several ways to kill this Tao Actualization Divine Emperor, these methods consumed too much energy. Once he used them, he would put himself in danger. He was still some distance away from a Tao Actualization Divine Emperor. Whether it was the 7 bridges or the 5-colored star splitter arrow, they were powerful killer moves. That's why Ning Cheng wanted Ho Fu's help. This was a Tao Actualization Tao pill. The moment the pill entered his mouth, Ho Fu almost cried out in shock. He was a pill refiner himself. He naturally knew about Tao Actualization Tao pills. Such a precious Tao of healing pills, yet Ning Cheng casually took it out for him to consume. Just what was the origin of this Ning Cheng? The healing Tao pill contained traces of law aura, and Ho Fu's injuries instantly began to heal. At this moment, Ning Cheng's spear swept up spear runes and wrapped around this Tao Actualization Divine Emperor's heaven-piercing scissors killing intent. However, Ning Cheng's spear runes kept weakening while the heaven-piercing scissors killing intent grew stronger. The people around could see that Ning Cheng was at an absolute disadvantage. When the heaven-piercing scissors killing intent completely destroyed Ning Cheng's spear runes, Ning Cheng could only wait for death. What's more, everyone knew that Wei Jingbing's means weren't limited to the heaven-piercing scissors. This heaven-piercing scissors was just a test. Just a test, and this arrogant Tao-molding divine emperor wouldn't be able to block it, let alone Wei Jingbing's full power. Some divine emperors were speechless. They thought this Tao-molding divine emperor was very strong, but it turned out he was only this strong. As a Tao-molding divine emperor, Ning Cheng was indeed very strong to be able to block a Tao actualization divine emperor's attack. He was even stronger than ordinary Tao-molding divine emperors. With just this, he didn't have the right to be arrogant here. Only the Tao actualization divine emperor who escaped from Ning Cheng's 7 bridges sneered. He knew that Ning Cheng didn't even use his full power. He was already prepared. If Ning Cheng dared to use 7 bridges again, he would be the first to run. He couldn't let Ning Cheng get swept into 7 bridges again. No wonder you dare to be so arrogant here. You're indeed a bit stronger than ordinary Tao-molding divine emperor. If that's all you have, then go reincarnate. The Tao actualization divine emperor immediately knew Ning Cheng's power. He was definitely no match for him. The imposing manner of his through heaven scissors unreservedly stretched out, causing the majestic imposing manner to suppress Ning Cheng's spear trace. Immediately, a huge ice thorn suddenly appeared. He wanted to use the same method he used to deal with Lu Fanglin to pin down Ning Cheng's soul ice thorn. At this moment, Ho Fu's battle dragon pill cauldron smashed over. No matter how strong Wei Jingbing was, he didn't dare to ignore another Tao actualization divine emperor's attack. Although he wasn't the one who injured Ho Fu, he had seen the process of Ho Fu's injury with his own eyes. When Ho Fu attacked him, he was shocked that Ho Fu's injury had healed so quickly. Chapter 997. Wei Jingbing put away his weapon and withdrew from the battle circle. Ho Fu wasn't any weaker than him, and he also had Ning Cheng's help. There were many people here, but no one came forward to help him. He naturally didn't want to waste his strength. Wei Jingbing retreated, and Ho Fu didn't chase after him. Ning Cheng also stopped. He didn't come here to kill people, but for the loyalty heart spirit Ganoderma fruit and to save Lu Fanglin and Ho Fu. After the opponent retreated, Ning Cheng grabbed the ice thorn in Lu Fanglin's chest and pulled it out. Don't touch her. Ho Fu saw Ning Cheng not knowing the severity of the situation and dared to grab the soul ice thorn and pull it out. The soul ice thorn tore through one's spirit soul. If it was forcibly pulled out, it could easily destroy the soul. Even Lu Fanglin was shocked. She didn't want to die now, but she couldn't stop Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng was an pill saint and even had the qualification card of a primordial Tao pill saint. How could he not know the power of the soul ice thorn? Not only was his spiritual consciousness powerful, but he also possessed the dark nether spirit devouring spirit technique. The moment he grabbed the soul piercer, his spiritual sense had already wrapped around the soul piercer, directly separating Lu Fanglin's life essence that was wrapped around the soul piercer. The moment the soul ice thorn left her body, Ning Cheng threw a medicinal pill into Lu Fanglin's mouth. When Ning Cheng pulled out the ice thorn from Lu Fanglin's body, everyone present shook their heads speechlessly. Lu Fanglin was dead. Even Wei Jingbing, who injured Lu Fanglin, was shocked. He didn't control Lu Fanglin to kill her, but to take her away. He had been coveting this woman for a long time. But to everyone's disbelief, Lu Fanglin was safe and sound. Ning Cheng's flame had already engulfed the soul ice thorn and turned it into nothingness. Lu Fanglin also understood that Ning Cheng had really saved her. Ning Cheng not only helped her remove the soul ice thorn, but also gave her a top-grade healing pill. Thank you, Brother Ning. You saved me again. Lu Fanglin quickly thanked Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng nodded, get ready. There might be a fierce battle later. I'm afraid I can't do it alone. I need you and Brother Ho's help. Ning Qing felt sure that the early-stage Dao transformation cultivator with the heaven-piercing scissors couldn't control Lu Fonglin. Someone must have helped her. Regardless of the reason why these people stopped Lu Fonglin and Ho Fu, they would definitely fight for the Red Heart Divine Ganoderma fruit later. He couldn't beat so many of them by himself. Since he needed allies, Lu Fonglin and Ho Fu were the most suitable. I am Wei Jingbing from the Zhanbin Cliffs Wei clan. Who the hell are you? Seeing Ning Qing easily pull out his soul ice thorns, Wei Jingbing could not help but speak up. Even a Dao Essence Divine Emperor would have to carefully pull out his soul ice thorns. Ning Qing had pulled it out so casually. It most likely had something to do with the Wei clan. Zhanbin Cliffs Wei clan. Ning Qing suddenly remembered a familiar name, Wei He. Wei He was the fiancé of Qi Shizengxing's elder sister, Qi Yuling. He was a person with a good demeanor, and Ning Qing also had a good impression of him. After not hearing any news about Qi Shizengxing, Ning Qing had always wanted to go to the profound Moon Spirit Gate. However, he knew that his strength was still too weak. If something really happened to Qi Shizengxing, then going to the profound Moon Spirit Gate wouldn't be helping him. Instead, it would be suicide. A bunch of scum. Lu Fonglin, who stood next to Ning Qing, suddenly scolded. A slut who doesn't follow the ways of a woman. After Wei Jingbing heard Lu Fonglin's words, he suddenly became furious and was about to attack again. Wait. A deep voice stopped Wei Jingbing. Ning Qing felt a slight chill in his body. Only then did he realize that he hadn't paid attention to this person since he came here. This person wore a gray robe and looked very ordinary. You wouldn't be able to find him in a crowd. But as soon as he stood up, the space around him seemed to fall under his control. Everyone's subtle movements couldn't escape his eyes. Dao Transformation Realm. Ning Qing's eyes shrank slightly. When he first arrived here, he only regarded the other party as an ordinary Dao Transformation Realm cultivator. But now it seems that he was wrong. If he wanted to kill this person alone, he would have to use the 5-colored star splitter arrow. Moreover, before using the 5-colored star splitter arrow, he would have to find an opportunity to shoot it. Otherwise, the other party might have already killed him before he could shoot the 5-colored star splitter arrow. He hadn't fully mastered the 7 bridges yet. At least, he couldn't kill this person for now. Brother Ning, he was the one who injured me and controlled senior apprentice sister Fonglin. That's why Wei Jingbing's soul ice thorns hit her. Ho Fu feared that Ning Qing didn't know about his opponent's power and promptly sent a voice transmission to Ning Qing. You can kill 4 Dao Transformation Holy Emperors, which means you're extraordinary. You also have the qualifications to break LV Li's restrictions and get a piece of the pie. Everyone came to the burial Shadow Blue Sand to seek treasures. Since we're all gathered here, then everyone should have a share. The gray-clothed man spoke in a deep voice that was neither fast nor slow. After he finished speaking, he continued, "Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is easy to remember, I'm Ding Si. I'm also as simple as my name. I like to make friends. The reason why I attacked your friend just now was because she wanted to kill Wei Jingbing. I had no choice but to let Wei Jingbing injure her. I apologize here." Ding Si was indeed easy to remember. However, Ning Qing didn't think that this person was as simple as his name. This person was far stronger than him. The Dao Transformation Holy Emperor he wanted to kill just now definitely told Ding Si about his 7 bridges spirit art. There were only 2 possibilities for Ding Si to be so amiable. One was that he was really like what he said, a very simple person who only cared about wealth. Ning Qing thought that this possibility could only fool the little guy because the possibility of Ding Si being such a person was very small. The other possibility was that Ding Si knew that he had the 7 bridges spirit art or even the 7 bridges realm book. Therefore, he didn't want to kill him here. He wanted to wait until things were done here and then kill him alone. This was the majority possibility. Otherwise, Ding Si wouldn't have said that he killed 4 Dao transformation holy emperors. Ding Si said this so that others wouldn't dare to attack him. Unfortunately, you know that I have the 7 bridges spirit art, but you don't know that I have the 5-colored star splitter arrow. If you want to kill me, you'd have to have a pair of good teeth. Ding Si's expression was extremely calm. Ning Cheng's expression was also extremely calm. He cupped his fists and said, "Ning Cheng greets Dao friend Ding." Everyone who heard this opened their mouths wide. Ning Cheng killed 4 Dao transformation holy emperors by himself. But Ning Cheng's strength just now wasn't enough to kill 4 Dao transformation holy emperors. Then again, who knew if Ning Cheng had used any strength just now? After all, he didn't really fight with Wei Jingbing. Perhaps he didn't even use 1/10 of his strength. Some people who didn't take the initiative to speak up were already rejoicing in their hearts. Regardless of whether Ning Cheng had real strength or not, he wasn't a simple person. Otherwise, Ding Si wouldn't say that. Wei Jingbing looked at Ning Cheng in disbelief. He even thought that if Ho Fu hadn't acted, he would have already killed Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng was just a Dao molding holy emperor. How could he have the ability to kill 4 Dao transformation holy emperors? Dao friend Ning, there's a pill heart immortal Ganoderma fruit here. There are a total of 58 pill heart immortal Ganoderma fruits on the tree. We have a total of 18 people here. This is what I think. 1 Dao molding holy emperor, 2 Dao nourishment holy emperors, and 4 Dao transformation holy emperors. We'll split the rest evenly. How about it? Ding Si said and looked at Ning Cheng with a smile. No one objected to Ding Si's distribution plan. Clearly, everyone here knew how powerful Ding Si was, so they agreed with his distribution plan. If Ding Si hadn't said that Ning Cheng had killed 4 Dao transformation holy emperors, perhaps someone else would have stood up. But after Ding Si said this, no one dared to stand up and refute. According to Ding Si's plan, there were 16 pill heart immortal Ganoderma fruits left, and Ning Cheng could get 8. It could be said that Ding Si had absolute respect for Ning Cheng and even put Ning Cheng in the same position as him. Ning Cheng could also see that Ding Si was in charge here. If Ding Si hadn't known about the 7 Bridges Realm book, Ning Cheng really wouldn't have understood why Ding Si indulged him like this. Now that he had guessed Ding Si's purpose, he cupped his fists and said, "Many thanks for Dao friend Ding's generosity. I only want 4 pill heart immortal Ganoderma fruits. But I want this pill heart immortal Ganoderma fruit tree. What does Dao friend Ding think?" Dao fruit trees were extremely difficult to grow, and many sects needed them. In everyone's opinion, Ning Cheng wanted this Dao fruit tree to make a fortune. Ding Si didn't say anything about the distribution of the fruit tree before, so he naturally wanted the Dao fruit tree. Now that Ning Cheng asked for the Dao fruit tree, everyone looked at Ding Si and wanted to see how Ding Si would deal with this matter. In fact, Ning Cheng didn't necessarily want the Dao fruit tree. Ning Cheng guessed that Ding Si would most likely attack him alone. If Ding Si turned against him now, he could use Lu Fanglin and Ho Fu to kill Ding Si and Wei Jingbing. Even if the Dao transformation holy emperor who set up the restriction attacked him together, he could use the 7 Bridges spirit art to kill them. Ding Si didn't expect that he would give Ning Cheng such a high treatment, but Ning Cheng still wanted the Dao fruit tree. He only paused for a moment before smiling. "Okay, the Dao fruit tree doesn't have much use for me. I'll give it to Dao friend Ning." Although they couldn't figure out why Ding Si would compromise, everyone still worked together to blast open the restriction. They quickly distributed the Dao fruits and dispersed. No one wanted to find trouble with Ning Cheng. Even Ding Si himself, after distributing the Dao fruits, quickly left. Ning Cheng put away the Dao fruit tree, which only had 4 pill heart immortal Ganoderma fruits. "Brother Ning, that Ding Si is very strong. We saw him kill a Dao transformation holy emperor in an instant." You have to be careful. Ho Fu was very grateful to Ning Cheng for saving him twice, and spoke a few more words. He also guessed that Ding Si knew that Ning Cheng had the Seven Bridges spirit art and wanted to kill Ning Cheng secretly. Who wouldn't want the Seven Bridges spirit art? It was a peerless spirit art that the entire Grand Essence realm coveted. Many thanks. Ning Cheng cupped his fists. He wasn't afraid of Ding Si. He had the spirit explosion pill. Even if he couldn't kill Ding Si wouldn't be able to kill him easily. Seeing that Ning Cheng understood what he meant, Ho Fu said to Lu Fonglin, "Senior apprentice sister Fonglin, let's go." Lu Fonglin shook her head. "Junior apprentice brother Ho, you go first. I want to go with brother Ning." Chapter 998. When Ho Fu heard this, his face immediately turned stiff. He also loved Lu Fonglin to the bone. Although he came to the buried shadow blue sand for other things, it was also for Lu Fonglin. He quickly reacted. With his strength, he obviously could not protect senior apprentice sister Fonglin. Senior apprentice sister Fonglin chose to be with Ning Cheng. It would be much safer than being with him. Thinking of this, Ho Fu showed a slightly embarrassed smile and spoke, "Well, I will be leaving first. Senior apprentice sister Fonglin, take care. If there is anything, you can always send me a message. Dao friend Ning, goodbye." Saying that, Ho Fu's figure spread out and soon disappeared. Ning Cheng looked at Lu Fonglin in doubt and spoke, "Dao friend Lu, you know that I can't walk together with you. I still have a lot of things to do. Besides, I was attacked by the buried shadow fiends, so I estimate that once I enter the buried shadow blue sand, I would immediately be besieged by the buried shadow fiends." Lu Fonglin did not directly answer his words, but once again bowed to Ning Cheng and spoke, "I have an innate charm body. I did not intentionally make that kind of charm appearance. I ask brother Ning to forgive me." Ning Cheng suddenly understood that Lu Fonglin should have unintentionally revealed that kind of charm appearance. Before, he thought that Lu Fonglin cultivated a kind of charm technique. He did not expect that she actually had an innate charm body. This kind of woman with an innate charm body was very rare, but if such a person cultivated a charm cultivation method, then their achievements would be extraordinary. There were many kinds of innate charm bodies. He did not know which one Lu Fonglin belonged to. Seeing Ning Cheng suddenly understand, Lu Fonglin continued, "Brother Ning, there are two reasons for me to stay. One is that Ding Si will definitely not let you go, so I want to lend you a hand." Ning Cheng showed a faint smile, "Many thanks, but I do not need your help. I believe that I can deal with that Ding Si by myself." Lu Fonglin did not care about it and continued, "Although I do not know where to find the dim star golden hidden leaf, I know that if the dim star golden hidden leaf is in the buried shadow blue sand, then it must be in that place. I am going to that place, so I hope that I can accompany brother Ning." "What place?" Ning Cheng's face immediately showed a pleasant surprise. He had entered the buried shadow blue sand to find the dim star golden hidden leaf, but until now, he had not even seen the shadow of the dim star golden hidden leaf. Now that Lu Fonglin said that she knew a place that might have the dim star hidden gold leaf, how could Ning Cheng not feel pleasantly surprised? Lu Fonglin shook her head, "I also don't know where this place is, I only have a general direction. However, I believe that as long as I survive in the buried shadow blue sand, I will be able to find it." "What do you need that you actually want to find it in the burial shadow blue sand?" Ning Cheng asked in confusion. Lu Fonglin looked into the distance of the Valley of Life. After a long silence, she said, "It's the pattern bone flower." "Pattern bone flower?" Ning Cheng asked in surprise. He was an alchemy saint, how could the pattern bone flower not know? The tattoo bone poison was one of the top 10 poisons under the heavens. How could it be considered one of the top 10 poisons under the heavens in a high-level world like the Grand Essence realm? The Void Star sect had asked him to refine the sky-replenishing bone vein pill to cure the bone vein poison. If the pattern bone poison was simple, it would not have made the sect master of the primordial chaos sect helpless. Ning Qing did not think that Lu Fanglin was looking for the patterned bone flower. Apparently, she had only one purpose for looking for the patterned bone flower, and that was to obtain the patterned bone poison. Ning Qing didn't know who this woman wanted to poison to kill. No matter who she wanted to poison, once poisoned by the patterned bone poison, it would be a disaster. Not only was the patterned bone poison difficult to cure, but it was also extremely easy to spread. Actually, I have another identity. I'm a Tao-raising pill deity from the Heavenly Dipper Alchemy Gate. Lu Fanglin found that Ning Cheng's expression remained calm after she finished speaking. She didn't even feel surprised when she heard about the patterned bone flower. One had to know that a Tao-raising pill deity was already an amazing existence in the Grand Essence realm. It was an existence that ordinary people would fight to make friends with. Ning Qing nodded, so you and Brother Ho really are from the same sect. No wonder Ho Fu looked at Lu Fanglin with such adoration. This Ho Fu should have already been attracted to Lu Fanglin in the Heavenly Dipper Alchemy Gate. Lu Fanglin shook her head and replied after a while, Junior Apprentice Brother Ho is a good person. Although he only loves my body, he is also sincere towards me. Ning Cheng looked at Lu Fanglin in surprise. Lu Fanglin's words sounded like ordinary words. Wasn't she trying to be subtle? Besides, he and Lu Fanglin weren't that familiar, right? Lu Fanglin didn't care about what Ning Qing thought and continued, my husband's name is Tu Qinfei. He's also a disciple of the Heavenly Dipper Alchemy Gate. He and I fell in love and came together in the Heavenly Dipper Alchemy Gate. There weren't many people who really wished us well, and many people coveted my body. They were friendly to us on the surface, but they secretly thought of dirty things. Ning Cheng frowned slightly. This Lu Fanglin seemed a bit extreme. Once one cultivated to the Holy Emperor realm, one's temperament naturally wouldn't be the same as an ordinary person's. Although Lu Fanglin was tempting, it only resonated with the senses for a while. Finally, one day, a man named Wei He took a fancy to me. Then, my husband died inexplicably, and I married Wei He of the Wei clan on behalf of the Heavenly Dipper Alchemy Gate. Hearing this, Ning Cheng finally felt that something was wrong. Wei He's Tao companion should be Qi Shixingsing's elder sister, Qi Yuling. Why did he marry Lu Fanglin? What about Qi Yuling? What did the Heavenly Dipper Alchemy Gate get from the Wei clan? I don't know, but I do know that the Heavenly Dipper Alchemy Gate bought me for a good price. The Wei clan is a bunch of bastards. That Wei Jingbing, Wei He's uncle, also wanted my body, but failed. Ning Cheng finally understood why Lu Fanglin wanted to kill the other party. It turned out to be because of this. Have you been to the Battle Shore Cliffs Wei clan? Ning Cheng asked. Lu Fanglin's face showed a trace of killing intent. Yes, after my husband died, I was controlled by the Heavenly Dipper Alchemy Gate to marry into the Battle Shore Cliffs Wei clan. The Wei clan, from the old to the young, all wore decent clothes on the surface, but secretly wanted my body. If it weren't for me being a pill deity and having some experience in the Tao of detoxification, I would have been repeatedly defiled by those bastards from the Wei clan. I pretended to be poisoned and escaped from the Wei clan after killing Wei Quan of the Wei clan. I came to the burial Shadow Blue Sand to find the vein bone poison and avenge my husband. Wei Jingbing also guessed that I had escaped. In addition, he had also secretly made a move against me. As soon as I saw him, I was ready to kill him. I did not expect that there would be a Ding Si. Ding Si's origin is mysterious, but his strength is tyrannical. In front of him, I simply do not have the leeway to fight back. Ning Cheng felt a burst of killing intent, and secretly thought to himself that Lu Fanglin's hatred was quite strong. However, he also understood why the Wei clan had such thoughts about Lu Fanglin. In addition to the temptation of Lu Fanglin's charming body, it was also related to the cultivation method cultivated by the Wei clan. He had fought against Wei Jingbing before and knew that Wei Jingbing's spirit essence lacked a kind of gentleness, which meant that his cultivation method was too young. Cultivating this kind of cultivation method, once one's Tao heart lost its balance, it would be unable to reconcile, and one would end up dying from a raging fire. A woman with a natural charming body was very beneficial to those who cultivated this kind of cultivation method. Whether it was dual cultivation or something else, it was more perfect than some medicinal pills. Unfortunately, no matter what kind of natural charming body it was, there were very few of them. He guessed that the Wei clan wanted Lu Fanglin because of this. Otherwise, even if the people from the Wei clan were shameless, they would not be unable to resist the temptation of a woman with a natural charming body, not to mention that this woman had not taken the initiative to seduce them. Ning Qing no longer cared about this matter, but asked, "Do you know a woman called Qi Yuling?" Qi Yuling? I've never heard of her. Lu Fanglin shook her head. Ning Qing guessed that if Qi Yuling did not go to the Wei clan, then it must have something to do with the profound moon spirit gate. Thinking of this, Ning Qing simply spoke up, "Dao friend Lu, you know that I offended Ding Si, and you also know how powerful Ding Si is. Moreover, you also know that once I leave the Valley of Life, I would be besieged by the buried shadow fiends. If you stay with me, I estimate that your chances of survival would be very slim. My idea is that you tell me the location of the valley, and then we can look for it alone. What do you think?" Lu Fanglin took in a deep breath and spoke in a deep voice, "Senior apprentice brother Ning, you are the only one who did not have any thoughts about me. I really want revenge, but I also know that if I don't even repay the kindness, then what kind of revenge is there? Senior apprentice brother Ning, although your 7 bridges is powerful, your cultivation is still too weak. If I help, maybe you can kill Ding Si. Without my help, I'm afraid." Ning Cheng's face turned slightly red when he heard Lu Fanglin's words. He truly didn't have any thoughts about Lu Fanglin. The first time he saw Lu Fanglin, he still had a natural physiological reaction. But when he heard Lu Fanglin's words, he understood that Lu Fanglin really wanted to help him. After all, he also guessed that 7 bridges couldn't handle a true Dao transformation powerhouse like Ding Si. Moreover, Lu Fanglin also didn't know that he had the 5-colored star splitter arrow in addition to 7 bridges. In that case, let's go together. You lead the way. Ning Qing didn't dwell on this matter. Since people already knew about the 7 bridges spirit technique, then it wouldn't matter if people knew about the 5-colored star splitter arrow. What's more, Lu Fanglin might know about the hidden star golden leaf. Manjuran already knew that he had the 5-colored star splitter arrow. Even if he killed Manjuran, who could guarantee that he wouldn't speak about it? Instead of worrying about others knowing about his treasure, it was better to improve his strength. Hearing Ning Cheng's agreement, Lu Fanglin showed a slight smile and brought out a 5-colored pearl to suspend over her head. The Valley of Life is here. If we go any further, we will leave the Valley of Life. Whether it's the threat of the buried shadow fiends or Ding Si, I suggest you bring out your Thunder City's defensive weapon. She had seen Ning Cheng's defensive weapon, the everlasting blue Thunder City. Even without an artifact spirit, it was still a top-grade defensive weapon. At least, she hadn't seen a more powerful defensive weapon than Ning Cheng's everlasting blue Thunder City. No, you lead the way. Ning Cheng shook his head. He didn't intend to bring out the everlasting blue Thunder City at all. The everlasting blue Thunder City only had a defensive function. Since the buried shadow fiends couldn't let him go, why should he passively defend? After listening to Lu Fanglin's description of the buried shadow fiends, Ning Qing guessed that these buried shadow fiends were something similar to souls. Moreover, they were very different from souls and essence spirits. At least with the help of the buried shadow blue sand, spiritual consciousness and vision couldn't catch them. Against such things, there was no weapon better than his 7 bridges spirit technique. Therefore, instead of bringing out the everlasting blue Thunder City, he directly grabbed the 7 bridges realm book in his hand. If the 7 bridges realm book couldn't kill these buried shadow fiends, he would choose to use the everlasting Blue Thunder City for defense. Chapter 999. Lu Fenglin was right. The two of them had only walked for half an incense stick's worth of time when the verdant green of the Valley of Life suddenly disappeared. What they saw instead was still a sky full of blue sand. When Ning Cheng looked back, it was as if the Valley of Life had never appeared. If not for the Scarlet Heart spiritual Ganoderma fruit he had obtained from the Valley of Life in his quintessential world, he would have thought that what he had just seen was an illusion. The berserk blue burial shadow sand swept over, suppressing his divine sense once more. Lu Fenglin used an unknown method to control her divine sense, making the multicolored pearl above her head sprinkle out a multicolored shield, enveloping her whole body. Ning Cheng was an artifact crafting grandmaster and could refine middle-grade spirit artifacts. Therefore, when he saw Lu Fenglin's bead, he understood that he couldn't refine it. You have to be careful of the burial shadow fiends. Lu Fenglin, who was not far from Ning Cheng, once again sent out a warning. Ning Cheng nodded but did not speak. In fact, when he was surrounded by the blue sandbags, he focused all his attention on defense. His cultivation was not as high as Lu Fenglin's, but his use of spiritual consciousness was definitely not something that Lu Fenglin could compare to. Even his spiritual consciousness was much higher than Lu Fenglin's. At this time, not only did he have to guard against the burial shadow fiends, he also had to guard against Ding Si. Ning Cheng did not believe that Ding Si would be so kind-hearted and easy to talk to. What puzzled Ning Cheng was that he had already prepared the Seven Bridges Realm book. But when he came out, apart from the burial shadow blue sand that covered the sky, he didn't sense any demonic aura. Lead the way. Seeing Lu Fenglin not moving, seemingly ready to support him at any time, Ning Cheng helplessly called out to him. All right. Lu Fenglin could see that Ning Cheng was indeed fine, although she did not understand why Ning Cheng did not bring out the Blue Thunder City, she could only lead the way in front. In the beginning, Lu Fenglin's speed was still very slow, ready to attack at any moment. Half a day passed, and the two of them did not encounter any danger. Lu Fenglin began to doubt whether the rumor was true, so she began to speed up. An hour later, she felt that something was wrong. Ning Cheng, who had always been with her, had disappeared. Although she and Ning Cheng had not known each other for a long time, but she did not think that Ning Cheng was the kind of person who would sneak away. Even if he wanted to leave, he would inform her. Ning Cheng was swallowed by the burial shadow demon. As soon as this thought appeared, Lu Fenglin's heart sank. She vaguely felt that this thought was true. She and Ho Fu helped Ning Cheng kill the 5 Dao actualization divine emperors, but Ning Cheng did save her in the end. Lu Fenglin immediately turned around. Regardless of whether Ning Cheng ended up being swallowed by the buried shadow demon or not, she did not want to pretend that she did not know anything about it. Ning Cheng had indeed encountered some trouble. Shortly after Lu Fenglin accelerated, he felt that he was once again facing the threat of death. Ning Cheng did not know what it was before, but now he knew that it was the buried shadow demon. Although Ning Cheng couldn't find anything with his spiritual consciousness, he did not hesitate to bring out the first bridge of coping. At the same time, he entered the first bridge. Lu Fenglin walked too fast, and the sneak attack was too sudden. He had no chance to stop Lu Fenglin. Because Ning Cheng's speed was too fast, 3 or 4 blue sand shadows followed Ning Cheng into the first bridge of coping. On his first bridge of coping, Ning Cheng finally saw the shadow of the buried shadow demon. It had the same color as the blue sand outside, and its entire body looked like a huge irregular sphere. Moreover, it seemed to constantly change its shape. A few slender arms and legs were wrapped around his body like snot hanging down from his nose. It looked a little strange. Seeing Ning Cheng standing in the middle of the first bridge of coping, these shadows opened their mouths and rushed towards Ning Cheng. Although he could see it clearly, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness still couldn't catch this buried shadow demon. After these blue buried shadow demons opened their mouths, their entire bodies disappeared. It seemed that they only had a mouth and nothing else. Ning Qing didn't move. Instead, several violent nether winds swept over and swept away the buried shadow demons that hadn't yet approached Ning Qing. Then, they fell into the blood river under the first bridge of coping. Miserable screams rang out, and there was no trace of them left on the first bridge of coping. Ning Qing also felt surprised. He didn't expect the buried shadow demons to have such clear screams. This thing didn't look like a spirit soul, nor did it look like an essence spirit. Ning Qing didn't know what it was. Ning Qing soon felt surprised. After devouring these buried shadow demons, the first bridge of coping started to solidify. Ning Qing found that the first bridge of coping's effect of devouring these buried shadow demons was several times more effective than killing cultivators on it. Wasn't this buried shadow blue sand the place to cultivate the 7 bridges spirit technique? Ning Qing felt ecstatic and let the first bridge of coping transform into a solid form. The entrance to the bridge of coping lay directly across the buried shadow blue sand, and Ning Qing stood at the entrance of the bridge of coping. Perhaps the buried shadow fiends had already launched their attack on Ning Qing. After Ning Qing's first bridge of coping devoured these buried shadow fiends, more buried shadow fiends rushed over and rushed towards Ning Qing, who stood at the head of the first bridge of coping. Ning Qing didn't even need to attack. He just needed to let the nether winds from the bridge of coping sweep these buried shadow demons into the bridge of coping. As more and more buried shadow demons appeared, the 5 words first bridge of coping started to solidify around Ning Qing. These 5 words suspended over the pale white first bridge of coping, lying across the buried shadow blue sand. The majestic aura brought with it a strange scene. The buried shadow demons seemed endless as they swarmed over. Ning Qing finally understood what Lu Fanglin meant when she said that as long as one was targeted by the buried shadow demons, one would die without a doubt. If he didn't have the 7 bridges of coping, he would have already turned into dust under the endless attacks of the buried shadow demons. But now, these buried shadow demons had no choice but to follow Ning Qing's lead. In just 2 incense stick worth of time, Ning Qing found that the first bridge of coping had almost completely solidified. No matter how many buried shadow demons he killed, it would only make this aura grow stronger and stronger. On the bridge of coping, nether winds and blood rivers surged, as if endless nether soldiers were rushing over. Step on this bridge, don't look back. No one is waiting for you at the end of your hometown. Don't look at each other, don't hesitate. When your foot falls on this bridge, your heart breaks. The Tao charm on the bridge of coping grew stronger and stronger. Under the call of this powerful Tao charm, Ning Qing felt himself becoming more and more integrated with the first bridge of coping. At this moment, he could even use the first bridge of coping without using the 7 Bridges realm book. Ning Qing started letting these buried shadow demons cross the first bridge of coping and enter the second bridge of coping. As time passed, just like the bridge of coping, after devouring the endless buried shadow demons, the village-looking bridge also started to solidify. Step on this bridge, don't look back. No one is waiting for you at the end of your hometown. Don't look at each other, don't hesitate. When your foot falls on this bridge, your heart breaks. The earth-yellow village-looking bridge's Tao charm also grew stronger and gradually merged with Ning Qing. At this moment, Ning Qing had completely integrated into the formation of his 7 Bridges spirit technique. Not knowing for how long, the second bridge of viewing village gave off waves of Tao charm. The surging village-looking Tao charm felt like the nether winds on the bridge of coping or the blood rivers under the bridge. Second bridge of viewing village, complete. Ning Qing suddenly opened his eyes, and the Tao charm in his hand changed once again. More buried shadow demons safely rushed over the second bridge of viewing village, and a vague shadow appeared in front of the second bridge of viewing village. This vague shadow quickly formed a faint gray bridge head, the third bridge of forgetting river. As more and more buried shadow demons were devoured by the third bridge of forgetting river, the third bridge of forgetting river, just like the previous two bridges, also started to grow clearer. Finally, the Dao charm of the Forgetting River merged together and formed Ning Cheng's killing intent aura. The Bridge of Forgetting River is a long journey. When you come, the Bridge of Forgetting River will turn to ashes. No matter how many buried shadow demons entered the third Bridge of Forgetting River, they still looked the same when they first stepped onto the bridge head. By the time they reached the heart of the bridge, they had already turned into nothingness or ashes. The fog over the third Bridge of Forgetting River completely covered the bridge body under the influence of Tao charm of the Forgetting River. But the Bridge of Forgetting River no longer looked like the kind that would scatter at a touch. Instead, it had turned into a real gray bridge. Ning Cheng wantonly killed the buried shadow demons within the rolling burial shadow blue sand. Lu Fonglin, who had retreated from a distance to look for Ning Cheng, felt completely sluggish. She watched Ning Cheng stand in front of the first Bridge of Forgetting, which looked much more solid than before, and continuously harvest the buried shadow demons. Within the burial shadow blue sand, her spiritual consciousness and vision couldn't see the buried shadow demons at all. But at the head of the pale white Bridge of Forgetting River, she saw the buried shadow demons for the first time. That's because there were just too many buried shadow demons here. They seemed endless and endless. It's just that no matter how many buried shadow demons came, Ning Cheng would still end up sucked into the first Bridge of Forgetting River. She couldn't see the second Bridge of Forgetting River, nor could she see the third Bridge of Forgetting River. But she knew that Ning Cheng didn't harvest these buried shadow demons for no reason. Lu Fonglin sucked in a breath of cold air. She never thought that someone could harvest the buried shadow demons within the burial shadow blue sand. Moreover, this person was standing right in front of her. Ning Cheng saw Lu Fonglin in the distance, but he didn't greet her. Those buried shadow demons all came for him. Even if Lu Fonglin stood next to him, these buried shadow demons didn't attack. Perhaps because of his crazy slaughter, these buried shadow demons only had one thought in their mind, and that was to kill Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng didn't die, but Ning Cheng's third Bridge of Forgetting River started to slowly solidify. It's just that the speed at which it solidified started to slow down. Ning Cheng secretly sighed in his heart. He knew that the buried shadow demons had a great effect on solidifying his 7 bridges. Unfortunately, this effect only worked in the early stages and would only weaken as time went by. As the Dao charm imposing manner over the Forgetting River grew more and more majestic, the buried shadow demons disappeared as soon as they reached the fog at the head of the bridge. Although he knew that he couldn't solidify the 4th Yellow Springs bridge here, Ning Cheng still desperately harvested the buried shadow demons. A sharp cry came from a distance, Ji Omru. Ning Cheng's heart shook, and a strong sense of crisis washed over him. He no longer cared about harvesting the buried shadow demons. Rolling up the 7 Bridges Realm book, he shouted at Lu Fonglin, who had her mouth wide open, "Hurry up and run." He had a hunch that his 7 Bridges spirit technique couldn't deal with this buried shadow demon called Ji Omru. Not only couldn't deal with it, but it was also far from it. Chapter 1000. Even without Ning Cheng's reminder, Lu Fonglin already knew what was going on. She immediately rushed out. In the burial shadow blue sand, those who could call themselves burial shadow demons were those who could call themselves Ji Ongmuru. It was said that even Dao essence powerhouses would die under the mouths of these demons. Even if Ning Cheng's 7 Bridges spirit technique was powerful, Ning Cheng's strength was only at the Dao sculpting realm. Killing 100,000 ants didn't mean you could kill a tiger. At this time, the burial shadow demon chasing behind Ning Cheng seemed to have gone mad. Even if it encountered other cultivators along the way, this burial shadow demon didn't care about them and only rushed towards Ning Cheng. With the appearance of the burial shadow demon, the people on this path had already dispersed. Only Ning Cheng and Lu Fonglin frantically ran through the tumbling blue sand. Both of them could clearly feel the burial shadow demon getting closer and closer to them. "Dao friend Lu, we can't run anymore. If we continue to run, in a place like the burial shadow blue sand, we will eventually be devoured by the burial shadow demon. Ning Qing called out to Lu Fanglin and stopped himself. He called out to Lu Fanglin because he wanted her help. If Lu Fanglin didn't help and continued to run, then he would have to block the burial shadow demon by himself. In a place like the burial shadow blue sand, the faster he and Lu Fanglin escaped, the more energy they would consume. However, the burial shadow demon's energy consumption in this place was almost non-existent. In this kind of situation where one side consumed energy while the other side conserved energy, once it caught up to them, the result could be imagined. What's more, he and Lu Fanglin were far from being an opponent of the burial shadow demon. As soon as Ning Qing stopped, he brought out the first bridge of coping. When Lu Fanglin heard Ning Qing's words, she didn't hesitate at all. She turned around and rushed into the first bridge of coping. She knew very well that if she wasn't by Ning Qing's bridge of coping, she might not even have the chance to make a move before the burial shadow demon killed her. Seeing Lu Fanglin act so decisively, Ning Qing secretly praised her in his heart. His figure flashed and he also entered the first bridge of coping. This powerful burial shadow demon wasn't something he could crush with the bridge of coping at will. He had to enter the bridge of coping to deal with it. Ning Qing and Lu Fanglin had just entered the first bridge of coping when a terrifying aura swept over them. Without even half a moment of hesitation, this person directly rushed into the first bridge of coping. They had the same irregular blue spherical body, but they had different arms and legs. This burial shadow fiend was fundamentally different from the burial shadow fiends that Ning Qing had easily killed before. Although Ning Qing's first bridge of coping didn't affect it at all. It opened its mouth wide, wanting to swallow everything. Ning Qing roared, and his long spear stimulated all the spirit essence within it before blasting out. At the same time, a dozen time wheels shot into the burial shadow demon's mouth. That was not all. His law-breaking sacred art and the law of time were also unleashed at this moment. Facing such a powerful burial shadow fiend, defending was the most foolish thing to do. Lu Fanglin also took advantage of this opportunity. The moment Ning Qing made his move, her indefinite azure sword transformed into circles of cyan Dao charm. All of these attacks bombarded the buried shadow demon's body. However, the buried shadow demon only paused for a moment before roaring. Its originally motionless hand suddenly stretched out and patted down on Ning Ning's first bridge of coping. The first bridge of coping surging Dao charm didn't last long under this slap. It immediately dissipated, and the pale white bridge body also started to crack. A terrifying backlash erupted, causing Ning Qing to spit out a mouthful of blood. Even his body was blasted away. Lu Fanglin didn't fare much better than Ning Qing. Just like Ning Qing, she was blasted away like a river of blood. If it weren't for Ning Qing's first bridge of coping, they wouldn't have even qualified to be blasted away. The two of them went all out, but in exchange, the burial shadow demon didn't rush to swallow them. Ning Qing sucked in a breath of cold air. He knew that with his and Lu Fanglin's strength, even in his 7 bridges, it would be impossible to kill this burial shadow demon. Just as Lu Fanglin was about to fall into the blood river, Ning Qing blasted out a handprint. The blood river rolled up a powerful force and sent him and Lu Fanglin to the other side of the first bridge of coping. Let's go. Ning Qing took the lead and rushed into the second village viewing bridge. At the same time, Lu Fanglin also followed Ning Qing into the second village viewing bridge. The first bridge of coping made a crashing sound and directly blasted into ruins. The burial shadow demon crossed the first bridge of coping and rushed to the bridgehead of the second village viewing bridge. The village viewing bridge's Dao charm only slowed the burial shadow demon for half a breath before it continued to rush forward. Lu Fanglin's hair was disheveled, and her clothes looked even more torn than before. It's just that Ning Qing wasn't in the mood to appreciate this tempting woman at this moment. Instead, he anxiously tried to think of countermeasures. The 5-colored star splitter arrow should be able to stop it for a moment or two. However, Ning Qing didn't dare to bring out the 5-colored star splitter arrow right now. Not to mention that there was still Lu Fanglin here, Ding Si was more important. Ning Qing vaguely felt that Ding Si was spying on them in the dark, looking for an opportunity to strike. Once he brought out the 5-colored star splitter arrow, he would truly die. Lu Fanglin didn't care about exposing herself at all. She anxiously retreated to Ning Cheng's side and said, "Do you have a way to tie down this demon for 3 breaths? Just 3 breaths." Ning Cheng didn't even ask why he wanted to stall for 3 breaths and directly brought out the spirit technique None to Depend On. None to Depend On, Yellow Sands Rise. There was a skinny horse on the West Wind Ancient Road. We were interdependent for a long time, and our clothes were filled with tears. None to depend on, the heart has been abandoned. Instead of gazing at each other from afar, it's better to be separated forever. The None to Depend On spirit technique was a Heart Dao spirit technique. The reason why Ning Cheng brought out the None to Depend On spirit technique was that after gaining a deeper understanding of the returning to one Dao, he gained a more thorough understanding of the None to Depend On spirit technique. The 7 Bridges sacred art could easily kill ordinary burial shadow fiends, which meant that the Heart Dao sacred art was useful against them. From a certain perspective, the first few bridges of his 7 Bridges sacred art were also a type of Heart Dao sacred art. It was just that his 7 bridges had yet to be perfected and his cultivation was still low, which was why he couldn't block the buried shadow fiends. None to Depend On spirit technique was one of Ning Cheng's matured great spirit techniques, and its power was no less than sunset's twilight. After gaining a deeper understanding of the Tao of Return to One, his understanding of None to Depend On also deepened. The second village viewing bridge cracked under the buried shadow fiend's huge palm. At the same time, the west wind blew, and the yellow sand flew, the ancient road appeared, and the sun set. Lu Fanglin felt completely stunned. She thought that Ning Cheng would cooperate with her without asking any questions. However, she didn't think that Ning Cheng would bring out such a poignant Heart Dao spirit technique. Although Ning Cheng's spirit technique didn't target her, she still felt intoxicated by Ning Cheng's spirit technique. None to Depend On, the yellow sand rises, west wind ancient road, a thin horse, interdependent, long tears, none to depend on, the heart has been abandoned, looking at each other from afar, it's better to be separated forever. A breath passed, and Ning Cheng's angry voice rang out in Lu Fanglin's ears, "Why aren't you doing it? What are you waiting for?" No one could blame him for his anger. He couldn't bear the terrifying aura of the buried shadow fiend, and his None to Depend On spirit technique was on the verge of shattering. Lu Fanglin felt shocked and almost cried out in regret. She quickly brought out a bead. The bead exuded a terrifying aura, and she kept sending out hand seals and Dao charm into the bead. As the second breath passed, Ning Cheng spat out a mouthful of blood. The west wind disappeared, and the yellow sand stopped. As the third breath passed, the ancient road shattered, and the setting sun melted away. In just 3 breaths, the buried shadow fiend broke free from Ning Cheng's None to Depend On spirit technique and opened its mouth to swallow Ning Cheng and Lu Fanglin. Ning Cheng gave out a dark sigh. Lu Fanglin's bead was just trash. No matter how powerful it was, it didn't have much practical use. It took 3 breaths to activate the bead. During these 3 breaths, the opponent would have already reacted and left. From this, one could say that her bead didn't have much practical value. He had managed to buy 3 breaths of time with the None to Depend On spirit technique, yet this woman wasted 1 breath. Ning Cheng saw Lu Fanglin's anxiety and indifference in the face of the buried shadow fiend trying to swallow them. He could only wave his hand and roll up the second village viewing bridge and throw it at the buried shadow fiend. When the second village viewing bridge entered the buried shadow fiend's giant mouth, it disappeared without a trace, just like mud falling into the sea. The buried shadow fiend's giant mouth still swallowed them, and the oppressive aura of death swept over. Ning Cheng sighed in his heart and once again used spiritual consciousness devour. He didn't like using this kind of spiritual consciousness transformation grand technique. Even if he had the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill to resolve it, he still didn't like it. In the face of a life and death crisis, he had no choice but to use it. But when Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept towards the buried shadow fiend, he suddenly realized that his spiritual consciousness couldn't sweep the buried shadow fiend at all. If his spiritual consciousness couldn't sweep it, then how could he devour it? Seeing that the buried shadow fiend's giant mouth was about to swallow him and Lu Fonglin, Ning Cheng no longer cared about it and directly used the dark nether spirit devouring technique towards the void in front of him. A terrifying and violent spiritual consciousness coercion swept over, causing Ning Cheng to open his mouth and spit out a few blood arrows. At the same time, he swallowed the endless spiritual consciousness. Kaka. Ning Cheng's powerful starry sky sea of consciousness also issued bursts of kaka sounds, which scared Ning Cheng out of his wits. Did this want to destroy his starry sky sea of consciousness? He had never seen such a powerful spiritual consciousness backlash. Ning Cheng wanted to forcibly stop the spiritual consciousness devouring technique, but the violent spiritual consciousness backlash made him powerless. Enter the mysterious yellow bead. Just when Ning Cheng had this thought, he discovered that he couldn't even enter the mysterious yellow bead. His sea of consciousness was completely suppressed by the violent power, and he couldn't even move his spiritual consciousness. Ning Cheng couldn't help but feel some unwillingness in his heart. At this moment, he didn't have the energy to care about the buried shadow fiend. But at this moment, the buried shadow fiend truly froze, however, it only paused for a breath of time. This breath of time allowed the buried shadow fiend to realize that Ning Cheng's sea of consciousness was a good thing, and it wanted to devour it. Almost at the same time that Ning Cheng felt bound by the buried shadow fiend and was about to swallow his sea of consciousness, Lu Fonglin successfully activated the bead and threw it into the buried shadow fiend's mouth. The buried shadow fiend didn't even put this small bead in its eyes. Just when its mouth was about to continue rolling, boom boom boom. A terrifying and majestic explosion erupted from within the buried shadow fiend's body. Chapter 1001. The explosion tore through the buried shadow demon's body, and a blue substance splashed out from the buried shadow demon's body. Ning Cheng's sea of consciousness's backlash instantly weakened, and he quickly brought out the everlasting Blue Thunder City. The buried shadow demon's roar came out, and it no longer called out, Jiang Mu Lu. At this moment, even if there was delicious human flesh in front of it, it wouldn't be in the mood to enjoy it. A violent aura erupted from the buried shadow demon's body. Ning Cheng and Lu Fonglin knew that the buried shadow demon was seriously injured, but they could only retreat. The blue storm continued to overflow from the buried shadow demon's body. The buried shadow demon finally stopped chasing after Ning Cheng and Lu Fonglin. Its body turned into a blue sand vortex and rushed out of Ning Cheng's second village viewing bridge. The buried shadow demon's roar grew further and further away. Apparently, it had truly left. The weaker burial shadow fiends also disappeared without a trace in the face of this roar. Lu Fonglin, who stood at the end of the Forgotten River Bridge, stared at the disappearing blue sand storm in shock and murmured, "So strong." The Tao-splitting bead, which could even kill ordinary Tao essence, couldn't kill this buried shadow demon. One had to know that the reason she hadn't used this bead was that it had too many flaws. It took too long to activate. Another reason was that she hadn't met an opponent who could force her to use this bead. Ning Cheng took out a healing pill and swallowed it. He then raised his hand and rolled up the Seven Bridges spirit technique without speaking. Let's go. Although the buried shadow demon is injured, it might come back again. Lu Fonglin saw Ning Cheng not moving and spoke up anxiously. It's too late. Someone doesn't want us to go. Ning Cheng looked at the empty blue sand in front of him and spoke up. Without waiting for Lu Fonglin to answer, a sneer came over, "I didn't misjudge you. You knew that I was coming. The Seven Bridges spirit technique is indeed powerful. It can even drive away the most powerful buried shadow demon in the buried shadow blue sand. Ding Si. Lu Fenglin spoke up in shock. A grey-robed man's figure slowly appeared. It was Ding Si, the one who had distributed the Dao fruits to Ning Cheng. Ding Si glanced at Lu Fenglin before turning his gaze back to Ning Cheng. I heard that to cultivate the Seven Bridges spirit technique in the early stages, one must have the Seven Bridges realm book. The legends really do make sense. Since you obtained the Seven Bridges realm book, no wonder you don't fear the buried shadow demons. Unfortunately, your first and second bridges have cracked. In your current state, you won't be able to summon them again in a short period of time, right? With that said, he looked at Lu Fenglin. I'm afraid you only have one substandard Dao splitting pearl. What do you want? Lu Fenglin was very anxious. She knew that Ning Cheng had consumed a lot of energy. Just as Ding Si said, Ning Cheng should not be able to use his trump card, the Seven Bridges spiritual technique. With her strength, it was impossible for her to win against Ding Si. Ding Si waved his hand, and a white mountain peak appeared above his head. I don't want to kill you too. Ning Cheng, as long as you call out the Seven Bridges spirit technique and the Seven Bridges realm book, I will let you go. The two of you can be a couple here and do whatever you want. Isn't that happy and carefree? When Lu Fenglin heard the last sentence, her face heated up. Only then did she realize how exposed her body was. She quickly took out an outer dress and put it on. What if I don't agree? Ning Cheng asked calmly. It doesn't matter if you don't agree. After all, we have something to discuss. As he spoke the word, discuss, the white mountain peak above Ding Si's head suddenly split open and poured down like a waterfall. The terrifying killing intent and imposing aura swept away the surrounding burial shadow blue sand. At this moment, the killing intent tore everything under the white mountain peak apart. Blade Mountain Spirit Technique. Ning Cheng's pupils shrank. Blade Mountain Spirit Technique was extremely difficult to refine because it consumed too many top-grade materials. Not only that, but the Blade Mountain Spirit Technique couldn't be cast with a Blade Mountain. It also required a powerful spiritual consciousness to achieve. This mountain peak was composed of countless blades. Once it attacked, it would turn into billions of blades. Just the laws of blade intent alone could lock down the opponent and tear them into pieces. For a Tao-confirming Holy Emperor, no matter how powerful they would have the means to avoid and resist an ordinary blade. Once an ordinary saber was gathered, it would form countless ordinary sabers that would strike down. That would result in a qualitative change in quantity. Under the qualitative change of these billions of blade shadows, all domains and laws of space would directly shatter. The entire space would then form a new laurelated spirit technique, the Blade Dao Laws of Spirit Technique. What's more, Ding Si's Blade Mountain Spirit Technique wasn't composed of ordinary blades. Instead, it was composed of billions of blades containing Blade Dao's killing intent. The blade shadows rolled over like a surging river. As the turbulent blade light washed over them, Ning Cheng and Lu Fenglin's domains turned into paper. Under this terrifying Blade Mountain Dao charm, there was no room for resistance. The surrounding laws of space were suppressed by this Blade Dao laws. Even if Ning Cheng and Lu Fenglin wanted to leave, they wouldn't be able to break through this turbulent Blade Mountain under the suppression of the laws of space. In Lu Fenglin's desperation, the thoughtless rainbow beads transformed into colorful curtains, wanting to block this kind of flowing light saber mountain. Unfortunately, when the Blade Mountain collided with her thoughtless pearl curtain, it was like tearing apart a rag, directly shredding the thoughtless pearl curtain into messy pieces. I didn't expect to die here. There was despair in Lu Fenglin's eyes. She knew that Ding Si was strong, but she didn't expect him to be this strong. If Ning Cheng could use his first bridge of helplessness, he might be able to restrain Ding Si a bit. But now, she and Ning Qing could only wait for death. They were both Tao Actualization Divine Emperors, so why was there such a huge difference between them? You can find me. It seems that you have an extreme spirit sense cultivation method that can find me and even break my concealment restriction, Ding Si said calmly as he looked at Ning Qing, who was about to be torn apart by the Blade Mountain. Despite his calmness, he still couldn't suppress the excitement in his heart. The Seven Bridges Divine Sense Cultivation Technique was something he couldn't help but be excited about. Looks like I've chosen the right time. Perhaps meeting you is my greatest fortune. Ding Si could no longer maintain his indifferent demeanor. Rumble. Waves of lightning flashed, but the waterfall-like Blade Mountain torrent didn't tear Ning Qing to pieces as Ding Si had expected. Instead, it collided with a Blue Thunder City. When the Blue Thunder City and the Blade Mountain torrent collided, it created bursts of lightning arcs. Lu Fenglin, who was waiting for death, was about to be torn apart by the Blade Mountain torrent. However, a burst of blue lightning arcs appeared in front of her eyes. Ah! Lu Fenglin looked at Ning Qing in surprise. She naturally saw the everlasting Blue Thunder City protecting her and Ning Qing. She had always wondered why Ning Qing didn't bring out the everlasting Blue Thunder City. It turned out that it was for this moment. The Blade Mountain torrent, which wanted to kill Ning Qing and Lu Fenglin, was blocked by a Thunder City. Ding Si's eyes widened and found that his spiritual consciousness couldn't sweep into the Thunder City at all. All he could see was the real lightning arcs created by the Blade Mountain torrent and the Thunder City. This is the everlasting Blue Thunder City. Ding Si's voice didn't just tremble. The everlasting Blue Thunder City was also an invaluable treasure. It was something beyond a spirit artifact. No wonder it could block his Blade Mountain. How many treasures did this Ning Qing have? That's right, he must have found an inheritance ground, which allowed him to obtain the Seven Bridges Realm Book and the everlasting Blue Thunder City. These things, I want them all. Ding Si's heart grew hotter, and his eyes almost glowed with golden light. Choosing to kill Ning Qing alone was the best thing he could have done. The Blade Mountain torrent that slammed into Ning Qing's body suddenly turned into a dragon and turned into a blade stream with even more majestic momentum. The everlasting Blue Thunder City not only had defensive capabilities, but it also had powerful offensive capabilities. However, Ning Qing only used the everlasting Blue Thunder City for defense. He didn't even use the everlasting Blue Thunder City to attack him. This made Ding Si understand that either Ning Qing didn't have the ability to control the Thunder City to attack, or Ning Qing didn't have full control over the everlasting Blue Thunder City. So what if you have the everlasting Blue Thunder City? You can't use the everlasting Blue Thunder City to attack me. Even if I use the Blade Mountain torrent, I can still kill you. Thinking of this, Ding Si felt even more grateful for the timing he chose. If he had recklessly tried to kill Ning Qing before the burial shadow demon appeared, he might not have been able to kill Ning Qing. Even if he ended up severely injuring Ning Qing would have escaped. Dao friend Lu, attack Ding Si with all your strength. Feeling the increasing pressure, Ning Qing took out a medicinal pill and swallowed it. He also called Lu Fenglin to attack with all her might. This time, he didn't swallow a healing medicinal pill but an explosive spirit pill. Ding Si's strength was far beyond his expectations. He had seen many Dao transformation sacred emperors, but none of them was as powerful as Ding Si. At this moment, Ning Qing was just rejoicing that he had held back when dealing with the burial shadow demon. Otherwise, he would have died without a burial place today. After Lu Fenglin heard Ning Qing's call, she didn't hesitate at all. The indefinite azure sword turned into an endless sword curtain and swept out. The sword curtain contained sword Dao laws and killing intent, which collided with Ding Si's Blade Mountain. Although Lu Fenglin didn't need to defend, her sword curtain was like a mantis trying to stop a chariot under Ding Si's Blade Mountain. The sword intent turned into countless sword flares and dissipated. At the same time, Lu Fanglin and Ding Si felt Ning Cheng's increasingly strong aura. This aura quickly broke through the Dao sculpting realm and reached the early stage Dao birth realm. Law breaking. Ning Cheng rushed out of the everlasting blue thunder fort and directly ignored the endless blade mountains crashing towards him. The law-breaking divine ability blasted out, and the surrounding laws instantly weakened. The majestic blade mountain also paused for a moment. Lu Fanglin didn't have time to worry about Ning Cheng. The moment she felt the pressure decrease, the indefinite azure sword turned into a sword dragon and rushed into the middle of the blade mountain. If she didn't go all out at this moment, she would lose her life later. Third bridge of the River of Forgetfulness. A long grey bridge shrouded in hazy mist appeared in front of Ding Si. Bridge of the River of Forgetfulness is a long journey. When you come, the River of Forgetfulness will turn to ashes, the surging Dao runes of the River of Forgetfulness blasted over. Ding Si was slightly startled, but he quickly sobered up and waved his hand fiercely. Blade Mountain breaks river, the stagnant Blade Mountain surged again. Whether this name happened to break the River of Forgetfulness or not, Ding Si wasn't worried at all. Chapter 1002. Boom. The torrent of the Blade Mountain slammed into the Forgetting River Bridge. The Forgetting River Bridge's Dao charm had yet to fully condense before it started to dissipate. Ning Cheng didn't expect these means to stop Ding Si. He already knew about Ding Si's strength the moment he brought out the Blade Mountain. What's more, his third Forgetting River Bridge had yet to fully condense, which meant that he couldn't restrain Ding Si. Ning Cheng's attacks provided an opportunity for Lu Fanglin. Lu Fanglin's Cyan Sword Dragon directly slashed at the Blade Mountain, which had already weakened a lot, causing the Blade Mountain to shake. The Blade Mountain's Dao charm and sword aura blasted the surrounding blue sand storm into nothingness, causing Ding Si and his Blade Mountain to pause for a moment. At this moment, Ning Cheng raised his hand and shot out a long black arrow. The long arrow hovered in the air, attached to the five-colored longbow that had appeared out of thin air. Ning Cheng's vigorous spirit essence and spiritual consciousness had been sucked away by the long arrow. Even if he took the spirit explosion pill, Ning Cheng's face still turned pale under this giant whale's absorption of water. The surging killing intent instantly engulfed everything in its path. At this moment, Ding Si's entire body froze as he stared in horror at the fading arrow. The killing intent was getting more and more terrifying as his heart turned cold. Five-colored star splitter arrow. With the five-colored star splitter arrow locked onto him, Ding Si didn't dare to move. He felt a little regretful in his heart. He shouldn't have started so early. He should have waited for the right opportunity. Even if he started so early, he should have been more vigilant and not let Ning Cheng's five-colored star splitter arrow lock onto him. He didn't expect Ning Cheng to be so patient. Even when he was about to die, Ning Cheng didn't bring out the five-colored star splitter arrow, nor did he take the spirit explosion pill. Did Ning Cheng already know that he was hiding on the side long ago, so he left it to deal with him? The killing intent rose crazily, and the aura of death spread out. Ding Si didn't even dare to tremble. His eyes stared at the fading five-colored star splitter arrow. Even if he knew that he couldn't avoid this arrow, he didn't want to die like this. The aura of death grew thicker and thicker. Looking at the five-colored longbow in the void, Ding Si's heart sank to the bottom. In this situation, he understood that he couldn't avoid the five-colored star splitter arrow no matter what. Even Lu Fanglin, who was standing at the side, felt a chill down her spine under this terrifying murderous intent. For the first time, she truly felt the terror of Ning Cheng. Previously, she had always thought that Ning Cheng only had the Seven Bridges spirit technique. But now, Ning Cheng displayed the law-breaking spirit technique that weakened the laws of heaven and earth, the laws of time, the peak Great Heart Tao spirit technique none to depend on, and the everlasting Blue Thunder City. These powerful attacks were not his trump card. His trump card turned out to be the terrifying five-colored star splitter arrow. Ning Cheng's fearfulness and endurance made her heart turn cold. She wanted to know, if she didn't have the Tao-breaking bead, how would Ning Cheng deal with the burial shadow demons? Stop, you can't kill me. If you kill me, you will die without a burial place. Ding Si had just spoken the word earth, when the five-colored star splitter arrow cut through space with a tearing sound. As for Ding Si's words, Ning Cheng treated them as farts. Ding Si wanted to kill him, so why would he care about Ding Si's threat? Even if he had to face the siege of several powerful burial shadow fiends after killing Ding Si, he would not hesitate to shoot this arrow. You. Ding Si's eyes flashed with a trace of unwillingness. Knowing that Ning Cheng would ignore his threat, he still felt extremely angry in his heart. Bang! Ding Si's body turned into a blood mist as the five-colored star splitter arrow shattered it. Ding Si's soul flew out from the blood mist. Ning Cheng opened his mouth and spat out a few more blood arrows. His entire body almost collapsed. With the burial shadow demon's spiritual consciousness injuring his sea of consciousness, he no longer had the ability to keep Ding Si's ring. Even if he knew that Ding Si's ring wasn't simple, he couldn't do anything about it. The only harvest was Ding Si's Knife Mountain artifact. Are you okay? Lu Fanglin quickly put away the shock in her heart and quickly stepped forward to support Ning Cheng, whose face was as pale as a piece of white paper. Ning Cheng put away the things and said, I have a true spirit world. I want to enter the true spirit world to heal. You can take my true spirit world to that place and call me when you arrive. Okay. Lu Fanglin agreed to Ning Cheng's request without hesitation. Ning Cheng didn't dare to let Lu Fanglin carry him, not because he was afraid of Lu Fanglin's temptation. Lu Fanglin and he had only met by chance. One might know a person's face but not their heart. In the face of so many good things, who knew if Lu Fanglin would suddenly fall for him? The true spirit world was his. Even if Lu Fanglin suddenly wanted to do something to him, he could blow up the true spirit world. Yan Ji had nothing to do in Ning Cheng's true spirit world and had been helping Ning Cheng look after the true spiritual grasses that had not yet been transplanted into the mysterious yellow bead. When Ning Cheng suddenly came in with serious injuries, she panicked. However, Ning Cheng knew that although his injuries looked serious, it would be much easier for him to recover than before. Now, in addition to healing Tao pills, he also had the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill. With the help of the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill, Ning Cheng forcibly cut off the burial shadow demon's spiritual consciousness and quickly repaired his sea of consciousness. 10 days later, Ning Cheng fully recovered. After telling Yan Ji not to worry, Ning Cheng swept out with his spiritual consciousness. He saw that Lu Fanglin's aura was a bit chaotic. Apparently, she had experienced a fierce battle not long ago. Moreover, she was also injured. Because he wanted to restore his strength as soon as possible, coupled with the fact that Lu Fanglin had been searching for the Valley of Life. Therefore, Ning Cheng had been concentrating on healing himself for the past few days and did not check on Lu Fanglin. He did not expect that Lu Fanglin would end up injured. What's the matter with you? Ning Cheng quickly left the true spirit world and asked. Thank the heavens, you finally recovered. Lu Fanglin immediately handed the true spirit world ring to Ning Cheng. After Ning Cheng put away the true spirit world, Lu Fanglin spoke up, 2 days ago, I met Wei Jingbing. I seriously injured him, but I also suffered some injuries. I was afraid that he would ambush me, so I wanted to leave as soon as possible. Ning Cheng did not ask again. Since Lu Fanglin met Wei Jingbing, it would have been strange if they did not fight. Fortunately, he had killed Ding Si. If Wei Jingbing had followed Ding Si, then Lu Fanglin would have died. How far is that place? Ning Cheng was more concerned about the dim star hidden gold leaves. As long as Yan Ji's foundation did not recover, he could not feel at ease. Lu Fanglin spoke up with some doubts, there are not many things marked in the burial shadow blue sand. I only know that after entering the burial shadow blue sand, once you encounter a wave-like blue sand whirlpool, you have to walk in the opposite direction of the whirlpool. As long as you keep walking like this, you will definitely encounter a huge gray stone stele. After reaching that stone stele, I would know how to go. The strange thing is that I have been here for a month, but I still haven't found that gray stone stele. Ning Qing suddenly thought of the map he had taken from the gutless intestine man. The entrance to the map was a gray stone stele. He quickly took out the map and spoke, "Is it this place?" "Hey, why do you have this map?" Lu Fanglin spoke in amazement and also took out a map, which looked exactly the same as the one Ning Qing had. "I snatched it from a Taoist." Ning Qing replied, "It's just that I don't know how to find this gray stone stele. Since you have a way, then let's continue with your method." Lu Fanglin did not know who the Taoist Ning Qing was talking about was, but just nodded and spoke, "Okay." The blue sand whirlpools in the burial shadow blue sand came in a variety of shapes. There were not many wave-like whirlpools, but there were also not a lot of them. Ning Qing and Lu Fanglin walked for more than 10 days, but did not see any gray stone stele. Not knowing if the burial shadow demons in the burial shadow blue sand knew about Ning Cheng's 7 bridges, Ning Cheng and Lu Fanglin walked for so many days, but did not meet a single burial shadow demon. "Wait." Ning Cheng stopped Lu Fanglin, who was about to continue forward. "According to your method, I'm afraid that I would have to try my luck. Let me lead the way for now." Lu Fanglin's face turned slightly red. She obviously understood Ning Cheng's meaning. That is, Ning Cheng suspected that the laws of this map were not completely correct, which led to them not being able to find the place. Now that he knew that there was a gray stone stele, Ning Cheng now had a goal. Previously, he did not want to fully spread out his spiritual consciousness because he did not want to waste it. But now that he had a goal, he naturally would not continue to hold back. Ning Cheng no longer held back his spiritual consciousness chop, and everything within a range of nearly 10,000 meters appeared clearly in his spiritual consciousness. His spiritual consciousness had really grown stronger, causing Ning Cheng to feel overjoyed. After using the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill to repair the damage to his sea of consciousness caused by the burial shadow demons, Ning Cheng felt that his spiritual consciousness had grown a lot stronger. Now that he verified it, he found that it really was the case. The burial shadow blue sand covered a vast area. Even with the range of his spiritual consciousness, it would still be difficult to find the gray stone stele in a short time. In other words, Ning Cheng's method could only rely on luck. Even if he divided the area to look for it, it would only depend on luck. If his luck was bad, then he might not be able to find it even after searching for a month or two. Ning Cheng's luck also turned out to be quite good. On the 3rd day, he found the gray stone stele. This gray stone stele looked like a hill, without any writing on it, nor did it have any trace of the Valley of Life around it. Lu Fanglin walked up to the gray stone stele and made a cut on her wrist, causing a line of blood to appear. Lu Fanglin placed her wrist on the gray stone stele, and the blood on her hand instantly sucked away. Just like the 5-colored star splitter arrow that had sucked away Ning Cheng's spirit essence, in just 3 breaths, Lu Fanglin's face turned as white as a sheet of paper. Wait. Ning Cheng had long since seen that something was wrong with this gray stone stele. Ning Cheng had just called out those 2 words, when Lu Fanglin's hand had already taken off the stone tablet, and at the same time spoke to Ning Cheng in a somewhat weak voice, "You have to do the same, otherwise, only I can go in alone." Lu Fanglin's words had just finished and a door suddenly appeared behind the stone stele. Ning Cheng took in a deep breath. He vaguely felt that something was wrong with this stone stele sucking blood. As for what was wrong with it, he couldn't tell. Lu Fanglin's blood had already been sucked away, so it was impossible for her to suck his blood. "Dao friend Lu, I don't think this is appropriate. Let's do it this way, I'll enter the true spirit world, and you can take my true spirit world with you." Ning Cheng spoke with a deep voice. Lu Fanglin shook her head. I'm afraid that won't work. I can't use my miniature world to take people in. The same goes for your true spirit world. Chapter 1003. Give it a try. If it really doesn't work, then we'll talk about it. I keep feeling that this vampiric stone steel is a little strange. You have to be careful. In just 3 breaths of time, I estimate that 90% of the blood in your body has already been absorbed. This pill is for you, it might help you a bit. Ning Cheng spoke in a cautious manner. Saying that, Ning Cheng took out a pill and placed it in Lu Fanglin's hands. Dao pills? Lu Fanglin looked at the medicinal pills in her hand in shock. She had no idea where Ning Cheng obtained so many Dao pills. The value of this Dao pill was much more precious than the hidden beautiful star gold leaf he was looking for, right? She really did not know what Ning Cheng was thinking. She was also a Dao birth alchemy deity, but a Dao pill was also very precious to her. Lu Fanglin knew that Ning Cheng was a mysterious person. But despite her doubts, she didn't ask anything and directly swallowed the Dao pill given to her by Ning Cheng. Even though she was a Dao actualization divine emperor, she felt uncomfortable after losing 90% of her blood. However, after swallowing the Dao pill, her blood quickly recovered. Not only that, but her whole body also became a lot more relaxed. Brother Ning, you can enter the true spirit world. I'll take you in. If it doesn't work, then we'll think of another way. Lu Fanglin said. Alright, 3 breaths after I enter the true spirit world, you rush through the door. The faster, the better. After Ning Cheng finished, he put the true spirit world ring into Lu Fanglin's hand and entered the true spirit world in a flash. Within the true spirit world, Ning Cheng waited for 3 breaths before immediately entering the minor 5-element array of the mysterious yellow bead with Yen Ji. If not for Yen Ji, Ning Cheng would not have to worry about anything. However, Yen Ji was from the human race. Her aura and the laws of cultivation methods all belonged to the human race. His mysterious yellow bead still lacked the other half of the wood origin bead. As such, apart from himself, no one else from the human race could enter it. Ning Cheng believed that in the mysterious yellow bead's minor 5 elements array formation, he would be able to persist for 3 breaths of time. If it really did not work, then he would have no choice but to bleed. As long as he could persist in the mysterious yellow bead for a few breaths, Ning Cheng was sure that Lu Fanglin would be able to bring him in. No matter how high the level of the laws within this gray stone steel was, it was definitely not as high as the mysterious yellow bead. If it was even higher than the mysterious yellow bead's laws, then this thing was simply heaven-defying. Lu Fanglin, in strict accordance with Ning Cheng's instructions, waited for 3 breaths of time, and then used her fastest speed to rush into the door behind the gray steel. According to Lu Fanglin's plan, the moment she entered the door, she would be thrown out by a strong force. To Lu Fanglin's surprise, she rushed through the door and even ran more than 10 meters, but she was not pushed out. Just as Ning Cheng expected, when he brought Yen Ji into the minor 5 elements array, a powerful law force blasted them out. Fortunately, this mysterious yellow bead had already recognized him as its master, it was just that its wood origin was incomplete. Otherwise, Yen Ji's life would have been difficult to keep. After Ning Cheng was pushed out of the mysterious yellow bead, he immediately came out of the mysterious yellow bead. He saw that he was surrounded by a verdant green color, while Lu Fanglin was staring at the true spirit world in her hand in a daze. Thank you. Ning Cheng felt relieved in his heart, he knew that he had finally entered this medicinal valley. I didn't expect that the true spirit world could really bring people in. It's completely different from what I heard when I got the map. Lu Fanglin gave a sigh and handed the true spirit world to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng took the true spirit world and hesitated for a moment before speaking. My true spirit world is different from others. Although my world can bring people in, it doesn't mean that others can as well. Also, I want to tell you that this gray steel is really weird, so you must be careful. As for what's wrong with it, I can't tell you. If it were his woman, Ning Cheng would not hesitate to check her entire body several times without missing a single spot. Lu Fonglin was not his woman, so he hesitated to help her check it out. I know, I'll be careful. Lu Fonglin spoke up casually. Apparently, she did not take this matter to heart. Ning Cheng remembered that Lu Fonglin had brought him in. Although he felt a little worried that Lu Fonglin would misunderstand him, he hesitated for a while before speaking up. If you don't mind, I can help you check it out. My spiritual consciousness is different from ordinary people's spiritual consciousness. If there is something wrong with your body, I have a high chance of helping you find it. If I just want to check if there is anything wrong with your body, then you won't have any secrets. Lu Fanglin's face turned red when she heard Ning Cheng's words. She suspected that Ning Cheng said it on purpose. The reason why she didn't care was that after hearing Ning Cheng's words, she carefully checked her body with her spiritual consciousness and didn't find anything wrong. She was with Ning Cheng not only because Ning Cheng saved her, but also because Ning Cheng looked at her differently from other people. He didn't have any desire to possess her. But she soon remembered that when Ning Cheng saw her for the first time, he definitely had some impulse. As a woman born with a seductive body, she was extremely sensitive to this aspect. Now that Ning Cheng said that he would help her check her body, she suddenly felt a little awkward in her heart. Ning Cheng was strong, but his cultivation base was just a Tao molding divine emperor. She was also a Tao transformation divine emperor. She was weaker than Ning Cheng, but she didn't have as many top-grade treasures as Ning Cheng. Did she, a Tao transformation divine emperor, need a Tao molding divine emperor to check if there was anything wrong with her body? No, thank you. I think since everyone has come in, let's go our separate ways. I'm going to go to the right, what about you? Lu Fanglin originally planned to go with Ning Cheng. But now that Ning Cheng wanted to check her body, she no longer felt as natural as before when she stood with Ning Cheng. She also felt a little disgusted in her heart. She was born with a seductive body, but she wasn't a fickle woman. The good impression that Ning Cheng gave her before also gradually dissipated. Ning Cheng touched his nose awkwardly. He really didn't think the way Lu Fanglin thought. Since Lu Fanglin misunderstood him and proposed to go their separate ways, he naturally couldn't stay by her side. He nodded and said, "Then I'll go from the left. See you later. We'll meet again." After Lu Fanglin finished speaking, her figure flashed and she fled to the right. Soon, she disappeared. At least Lu Fanglin wasn't wrong about one thing. Not only were there many divine grasses here, but most of them were rare species. Ning Cheng even found 3 or 4 Tao fruit trees. Before seeing the hidden beautiful star gold leaf, Ning Cheng really didn't have the mood to pick other divine grasses. According to Lu Fanglin, if he didn't go out in 15 days, he would be teleported away. Therefore, Ning Cheng wanted to find the hidden beautiful star gold leaf within half a month. Ning Cheng moved quickly along the way. In the beginning, he would stop to collect rare divine grasses along the way. Later on, to save time, he directly skipped them. As the days passed, Ning Cheng grew more and more anxious. On the 11th day, he finally saw a small patch of pale golden divine grasses. These divine grasses looked like leaves growing out of the soil, with star-shaped leaves on both sides. Hidden beautiful star gold leaf. Ning Cheng almost screamed out in excitement. He quickly confirmed that this was indeed a hidden beautiful star gold leaf. This small patch of hidden beautiful star gold leaf contained at least 20 stalks. Ning Cheng held back his excitement and carefully dug out more than 20 stalks of hidden beautiful star gold leaf. Junior apprentice Sister Ji, I found the hidden beautiful star gold leaf. Ning Cheng took the hidden beautiful star gold leaf and entered the true spirit world with joy. Within the true spirit world, Yan Ji felt equally excited on seeing Ning Cheng find the hidden beautiful star gold leaf. Although she felt satisfied with being together with Ning Cheng, if she could restore her foundation and continue cultivating, she naturally wanted to cultivate to a higher realm. 1,000,000 years would pass in a blink of an eye when she was with her beloved. How could time be too much? Only by cultivating to a higher realm would she have more time. Then let's hurry out. It's too dangerous here. Ever since Ning Cheng came in with serious injuries a few days ago, Yan Ji had been worried about him. Don't worry. I'll refine the true extreme spirit recovery pill for you now. After that, you can restore your foundation and cultivate in the true spirit world. How could Ning Cheng wait until he left the burial shadow blue sand to refine the true extreme spirit recovery pill? Now that he had gathered all the spiritual grasses, he immediately started refining the pill. The true extreme spirit recovery pill was just a Tao sculpting pill. Ning Cheng could easily refine Tao transformation pills, so refining a Tao sculpting pill wouldn't take much effort. Ning Cheng had more than a dozen sets of the true extreme spirit recovery pill's main ingredients: true extreme Tao fruit, Dan essence, and hidden beautiful star gold leaf. Therefore, he didn't worry about it breaking. In just the first batch of true extreme spirit recovery pills, Ning Cheng refined 12 top-quality true extreme spirit recovery pills. The value of the true extreme spirit recovery pill was extremely high, even higher than ordinary Tao transformation pills. This medicinal pill required one of the most difficult herbs to find. This herb wasn't the true extreme Tao fruit, nor was it the hidden beautiful star gold leaf, but the Dan essence. Ning Cheng happened to have a large mass of high-quality Dan essence. Yan Ji watched Ning Cheng refine pills from the side. When Ning Cheng refined 12 top-quality true extreme spirit recovery pills, she felt equally excited. Ning Cheng took out a true extreme spirit recovery pill and put it into Yan Ji's mouth. The true extreme spirit recovery pill quickly turned into a foundation-repairing aura that spread throughout Yan Ji's Zifu and meridians. 2 hours later, Ning Cheng could clearly feel the changes in Yan Ji. The weakness in Yan Ji gradually disappeared, and the Tao charm around her gathered once again. At the same time, her cultivation also rose and reached the late-stage life and death realm. When Yan Ji underwent spiritual cleansing, her cultivation aptitude had improved once. Later, Ruoxi used a top-grade Tao fruit to repair her foundation, which improved her aptitude once again. This time, Ning Cheng used the true extreme spirit recovery pill to repair her foundation for the third time. From this, one could say that Yan Ji's aptitude now rivaled the top geniuses in the grand essence realm. Ning Cheng, I'm fine. Even after finding Ning Cheng, Yan Ji, who still felt a little hesitant, no longer felt that kind of hesitation. Instead, she hugged Ning Cheng tightly without reservation. All her efforts were worth it. She had done a lot for Ning Cheng, and Ning Cheng was also willing to do a lot for her. Ning Cheng breathed in slightly, and the stone hanging in his heart finally fell down. There was still a long time before the 5 realms pill competition. After leaving the burial shadow blue sand, he had to go back to see Luofei and Ruolan. Thinking of Luofei, Ning Cheng inexplicably thought of Lu Fenglin's seductive appearance. Yan Ji hugged Ning Cheng tightly. She could clearly feel every change in Ning Cheng's body. Although she dared to love and hate, in the face of this kind of thing, she suddenly felt at a loss. Her entire body trembled. Chapter 1004. Ning Cheng also felt the changes in Yan Ji. He took in a deep breath and patted Yan Ji's back. You should hurry up and cultivate here. There are all kinds of cultivation resources here. I'll go out and dig up more divine grasses, and then we can go back and see Luofei. Okay. Yan Ji nodded. Even if her cultivation had recovered, she didn't have much strength left at this moment. Leaving Yan Ji to cultivate in the true spirit world, Ning Cheng continued to look for divine grasses here. With Yan Ji fully recovered, Ning Cheng no longer had any worries. Along the way, he dug up all the valuable divine grasses and put them into the true spirit world. Just when Ning Cheng wondered if Lu Fanglin had found the patterned bone flower, he saw a divine grass that he had never seen before. To be precise, it wasn't a grass, but a flower. It was only a foot tall and had a thumb-thick root with a single flower at the top. Contrary to the beautiful star gold hidden leaf, the beautiful star gold hidden leaf only had one leaf. But this flower only had one flower. Ning Cheng had seen all kinds of flowers, some beautiful, some fragrant, and some smelly. But he was sure that this flower was the most beautiful one he had ever seen. When the flower bloomed, several colors intertwined with each other. At first glance, it seemed to have only one color. But when he looked closely, he saw more than a dozen colors. There were 2 pure white petals in the middle of these blooming flowers, and there were even lines on the petals. The entire flower looked very beautiful, but it also gave people a sad feeling. It seemed to be telling a story without an end, which added a lot of sadness to it. To be precise, the beauty of this flower was a kind of poignant beauty. Ning Cheng immediately knew what this flower was. It must be the patterned bone flower. He knew about the patterned bone poison in the patterned bone flower, but it was his first time seeing this flower. No wonder Lu Fanglin wanted to look for the patterned bone flower here. He didn't expect to find it here. He didn't know if there were any detoxifying herbs for the patterned bone poison here. Whether there were any detoxifying herbs for the patterned bone poison or not, Ning Cheng carefully dug up the patterned bone flower and put it into the true spirit world. At the same time, he reminded Yan Ji that this flower was highly poisonous. If Lu Fanglin didn't find the patterned bone flower after leaving this place, he would give this patterned bone flower to Lu Fanglin to repay her for bringing him in. The value of the patterned bone flower was definitely more precious than an ordinary Dao transformation Dao fruit. It was extremely rare and very difficult to grow. Half a month quickly passed by, and just as Lu Fanglin had said, Ning Cheng was directly sent out of the medicinal valley. There were no gray stone tablets around, nor was there Lu Fanglin. Needless to say, Lu Fanglin's location was different from his. After Ning Cheng confirmed that Lu Fanglin was not around, he prepared to leave the burial shadow blue sand. Ning Cheng felt very satisfied with this trip to the burial shadow blue sand region. He had encountered many dangers, and he had almost died in the blue burial shadow sand. However, the harvest was much more than that. The most important thing was to completely restore Yan Ji's foundation, and also to improve her qualifications by a level. Aside from the buried shadow fiends, the path out of the buried shadow blue sand wasn't easy to find. Many people had entered the blue shadow burial sand, but in the end, they had lost their way and perished there. Ning Cheng's cultivation was at the Dao sculpting Holy Emperor realm, but his sea of consciousness and spiritual consciousness were far stronger than Dao sculpting Holy Emperors. Even ordinary Dao transformation Holy Emperors couldn't compare to him. A place like the burial shadow blue sand region suppressed one's spiritual consciousness. Ordinary holy emperors had their own ways to extend their spiritual consciousness, just like how Lu Fanglin could bring out her thoughtless rainbow beads to defend herself. The stronger one's spiritual consciousness, the higher the chance of survival and the greater the chance of finding a way out. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness was not only powerful, but it could also stretch out a much wider range than others in the burial shadow blue sand region. Plus, after the battle with the buried shadow fiends, no buried shadow fiends dared to attack him. It only took him 7 days to walk out of the burial shadow blue sand region. From the Grand Essence Ruins public square to the entrance of the Grand Essence Ruins, it was a semi-desert zone. Many cultivators said that the most dangerous place in the Grand Essence Ruins wasn't the depths of the Grand Essence Ruins, but this semi-desert zone. Because this place didn't belong to the Grand Essence Ruins public square, no one cared about fighting here. Even if someone killed you here, no one would care. Many cultivators, who offended powerhouses, would end up dead before they could even enter the Grand Essence ruins. In fact, once one entered the Grand Essence ruins, there were many places to escape. At this moment, a battered figure rushed towards the Grand Essence ruins. But due to his severe injuries, someone stopped him from entering the semi-desert zone before entering the Grand Essence ruins. Qi Shixingsing, if I were you, I'd rather hide in the Grand Essence mystic realm. If I came out, I'd die. Why bother? The one who spoke was a late-stage Dao Birth Realm cultivator. He and another early-stage Dao Birth Realm cultivator blocked Qi Shixingsing's path. Qi Shixingsing was just about to speak when he suddenly stared at the starry sky wheel flying in from afar. He was too familiar with Ning Cheng's starry sky wheel. Then, he saw Ning Cheng standing at the front of the starry sky wheel. At the same time that Qi Shixingsing saw Ning Cheng also saw Qi Shixingsing. After Yan Ji recovered her foundation, she stayed in the true spirit world to cultivate. Ning Cheng came out of the Grand Essence ruins shadow burial blue sand and prepared to wait for Lu Fanglin in the Grand Essence ruins for a few days. If she didn't show up, he would return to stately River Star. He didn't expect to see Qi Shixingsing, who he hadn't seen for a long time, at the entrance to the Grand Essence ruins. Qi Shixingsing didn't feel surprised to see Ning Cheng at this time. Instead, he felt anxious. He turned around anxiously and wanted to rush out diagonally. He hoped that Ning Cheng wouldn't fall into the trap after seeing him. With two Dao Birth Holy Emperors here, killing Ning Cheng would be as easy as pinching an ant. You want to leave? The early-stage Dao Birth Realm cultivator's tooth stinger transformed into a thorny heavenly curtain that trapped Qi Shixingsing. A powerful domain and the pressure of a Dao Birth Holy Emperor swept over. Qi Shixingsing couldn't even move and felt completely bound. He had just successfully sculpted his Dao and hadn't even stabilized his Dao foundation. Facing two Dao Birth Holy Emperors, it would have been strange if he could even move. If not for these two Dao Birth Holy Emperors not wanting to kill him and just wanting to take him away, he would have died a long time ago. After the early-stage Dao Birth Holy Emperor trapped Qi Shixingsing, he threw out a rope-type weapon. The rope-type weapon seemed to have eyes of its own and transformed into a circle that wrapped around Qi Shixingsing. Just as the rope was about to bind Qi Shixingsing, a flame suddenly burst out in front of Qi Shixingsing. The rope-type weapon that was about to bind Qi Shixingsing was wrapped up by the flame and turned into ashes at a speed visible to the naked eye. The Dao Birth Holy Emperor, who wanted to bind Qi Shixingsing, felt a sharp pain in his sea of consciousness. Just as he realized what had happened, his rope-type weapon got burned. At the same time, he saw Ning Cheng, who had put away the starry sky wheel. Who are you? How dare you attack me for no reason? The early-stage Dao Birth Holy Emperor shouted. He could see that Ning Cheng only had a Dao sculpting Holy Emperor cultivation. If Ning Cheng hadn't easily burned his rope-type weapon, he would have already taken action. Ning Cheng ignored this early-stage Dao Birth Holy Emperor. After the celestial river flame burned the rope-type weapon, it turned around again. The thorns binding Qi Shixingsing turned into raging flames and quickly dissipated. Qi Shixingsing relaxed and immediately landed beside Ning Cheng. He then looked at Ning Cheng in shock. He couldn't think of what to ask Ning Cheng for a long time. Are you Pill Sage Ning? The late-stage Dao Birth Holy Emperor, who was about to make a move, immediately recognized Ning Cheng. Qi Shixingsing finally recovered and asked in shock, Ning Cheng, when did you become a Pill Sage? Qi Shixingsing knew that Ning Cheng was a Pill Emperor, but he couldn't believe that Ning Cheng was a Pill Sage. The difference was too big. Let's talk about this later. First, why are these two chasing you? Ning Cheng stared at the two Dao Birth Holy Emperors in front of him and asked Qi Shixingsing. Only then did Qi Shixingsing remember that Ning Cheng had burned a Dao Birth Holy Emperor's weapon with a fire and even broke the spirit technique of this early-stage Dao Birth Holy Emperor in front of him. Back in the Grand Essence mystic realm, Ning Cheng's cultivation seemed to be similar to his. How did Ning Cheng improve so much? The late-stage Dao Birth Holy Emperor didn't wait for Qi Shizengxing to answer. He cupped his fists towards Ning Cheng and said, "Since you're a friend of Pill Sage Ning, we don't dare to offend you anymore. Goodbye." After the late-stage Dao Birth Holy Emperor finished speaking, he pulled the early-stage Dao Birth Holy Emperor and instantly left. Ning Cheng didn't know the whole story, nor did he chase after them. It was fine as long as Qi Shizengxing was fine. "Dao friend Ao, why did you pull me away? Although that person's flame is powerful, he's just a Dao sculpting Holy Emperor. Can't the two of us kill him? If we retreat like this, how will we report back?" The early-stage Dao Birth Holy Emperor asked unwillingly. The late-stage Dao Birth Holy Emperor surnamed Ao said in a deep voice, "Brother Huan, didn't you hear me call that mortal Pill Sage? So what if he's a Pill Sage? A mere Dao sculpting Pill Sage dares to..." "Shut up." Before the Holy Emperor surnamed Huan could finish speaking, the Dao Birth Holy Emperor surnamed Ao quickly stopped him. In addition to being a Pill Sage, his surname is also Ning. The Dao Birth Holy Emperor surnamed Huan didn't react immediately. But this time, he quickly understood and exclaimed, "Dao friend Ao, you're saying that he's that Dao Essence Pill Sage Ning Cheng?" The Dao Birth Holy Emperor surnamed Ao snorted but just nodded without answering. After getting a positive answer, the Dao Birth Holy Emperor surnamed Heng suddenly broke out in cold sweat. With their trivial Dao Birth Holy Emperor surnamed Ning Cheng, fighting against a Dao Essence Pill Sage meant that they didn't know how to write the word death. Ning Cheng wasn't only a Dao Essence Pill Sage but also a powerhouse representing the Grand Essence realm in the 5 Realms Pill competition. As long as he raised his arm and called for help, how many people would be willing to help him kill people? Perhaps Ning Cheng would just say a word here, and his head would fall off. "Dao friend Ao, thank you this time. I won't do this task." The early-stage Dao Birth Holy Emperor surnamed Huan took a deep breath and said with fear. The late-stage Dao Birth Holy Emperor surnamed Ao also nodded, "I won't do it either. I didn't expect Ning Cheng to have such a good relationship with Qi Shizengxing. It's already a good thing that he didn't find trouble with me. Do you want me to continue chasing after Qi Shizengxing? Unless I'm tired of living." The two no longer had the mood to talk. They didn't even stay on the Grand Essence Ruins public square and directly left the Grand Essence Ruins public square through the teleportation array. Chapter 1005. Watching the two Dao Nourishment Holy Emperors chasing after him flee, Qi Shizengxing looked at Ning Cheng in disbelief. "Ning Cheng, how did you become so powerful? It could burn a Dao Nourishment Divine Emperor's magic artifact, break a Dao Nourishment Divine Emperor's God Art and scare away 2 Dao Nourishment Divine Emperors? Also, when did you become a Pill Saint?" When Ning Cheng saw that Qi Shizengxing didn't even know about these things, he understood that Qi Shizengxing had never come into contact with people and things outside before. Otherwise, his reputation as a primordial Dao alchemy saint would have long reached Qi Shizengxing's ears. 13. We'll talk about this later. I want to ask you, where did you go after coming out of the Grand Essence Mystic Realm? When I participated in the Grand Essence Great Meet, I was counting on your dad to help me. But who knew that you wouldn't show up? That old man Huishan almost killed me. Ning Cheng suspected that something had happened to Qi Shizengxing's father. Otherwise, the profound Moon Spirit Gate wouldn't have changed the sect master so casually. Qi Shizengxing's face suddenly turned ugly. He gritted his teeth and said, "As soon as I came out, my mother sent me to a place for secluded cultivation. She said that I can only come out after I reach the Dao sculpting realm. In fact, I can't even open that place without Dao molding. I told them that I wanted to see you participate in the Grand Essence Great Meet. In the end, my father said that he would help me cheer for you." Ning Cheng felt even more suspicious. Why didn't Qi Shixingsing's father cheer for him during the Grand Essence Great Meet? If Qi Shixingsing's father had truly died, he wouldn't have given 10 bottles of Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation pills to the Star-Stepping Tower Master, and he wouldn't have ended up being chased around by Man Huishan. With Qi Shixingsing's father's status, it was impossible for him to lie to Qi Shixingsing. The only possibility was that something had happened to Qi Chonggui. I also know that I've spent too much time in the Grand Essence Mystic Realm, so I didn't resist and decided to come out after sculpting my Tao. In the end, before I could complete my Tao modeling, my seclusion place was forcibly opened by my sister. As Qi Shixingsing spoke until here, his voice trembled with anger. My big sister told me not to go back to the sect after sculpting my Tao. She told me to go directly to the Grand Essence ruins to find the Grand Spirit Technique, the Grand Essence Spirit Thunder. After reaching the Tao Essence realm, I would come back to avenge my parents. What the hell is going on? Ning Cheng asked in a dignified tone. Qi Shixingsing took in a deep breath and was just about to speak when a shadow rushed out from the depths of the Grand Essence ruins. This shadow flitted past Ning Cheng and Qi Shixingsing for a few breaths before turning around and landing beside Ning Cheng. Qi Shixingsing, who was about to continue speaking, suddenly stopped when he saw someone coming over. Dao friend Lu, I was planning to go to the Grand Essence ruins to wait for you for a few days. Ning Cheng immediately recognized the person who had returned as Lu Fonglin. Ning Cheng's words were only half spoken, when he stopped, as he saw that Lu Fonglin was injured once again. It seemed that every time he saw Lu Fonglin, she would be injured. It should be said that this time, Lu Fonglin was not injured, but poisoned. If it was before, Ning Cheng was not sure what kind of poison Lu Fonglin was suffering from. After obtaining a pattern bone flower, Ning Cheng was now sure that Lu Fonglin was suffering from the pattern bone poison. Lu Fonglin had gone to look for the vein bone poison. Why was she the one who was poisoned by the vein bone poison? Lu Fonglin's cultivation should be far inferior to that skeletal man from the Void Star sect. Moreover, that skeletal man could suppress his poison to the point that no poisonous aura overflowed from his body. But looking at Lu Fonglin's appearance, even people who didn't understand her could see that she was deeply poisoned. Brother Ning, I guess you should have come out by now. I didn't expect to see you here. Lu Fonglin spoke in a hurry. Apparently, she knew about her own situation. Wait. Ning Cheng stopped Lu Fonglin. Did Wei Jingbing chase after you? Lu Fonglin nodded. Yes, I poisoned him. But I didn't expect him to have a powerful spirit technique that even caused a backlash. You again. As Lu Fonglin's voice fell, Wei Jingbing rushed out of the depths of the Grand Essence ruins and landed not far away. He then stared at Ning Cheng and Lu Fonglin with a hostile expression. He soon saw Qi Shixingsing and spoke up in surprise. Qi Shixingsing. You're still alive. Qi Shixingsing's killing intent erupted from his body. Wei Jingbing, you dog. Your Wei clan is a beast. My sister was lucky enough to survive. If anything happens to her, I'll make sure not even an ant in the Wei family survives. Ning Cheng then saw that Wei Jingbing was indeed poisoned, and it was also the vein bone poison. Wei Jingbing ignored Qi Shixingsing's curses and just stared at Ning Cheng with a cold snort. He then brought out a flight-type weapon and quickly disappeared. He had seen Ning Cheng's strength with his own eyes, and he had also fought head-on against Ning Cheng. Not to mention that he was poisoned by the vein bone poison, which would quickly corrode his cultivation. Even if he was not poisoned, he would not be a match against Ning Cheng. Lu Fonglin didn't know Qi Shixingsing, nor did she know why Qi Shixingsing had a grudge against the Wei clan. She saw Wei Jingbing walk away, and then spoke to Ning Cheng, Elder brother Ning, I'm afraid I won't be able to live for long. After my husband passed away, I didn't have any true friends. If there's anyone I can trust, it's you. I want to ask you to help me with something. Ning Cheng raised his hand to stop Lu Fonglin from continuing. Dao friend Lu, let's not talk about life and death for the time being. Follow me to the Grand Essence Ruins public square and find a rest stop to stay in. At that time, I might be able to help you detoxify it. You can detoxify the vein bone poison. Lu Fanglin subconsciously exclaimed. But then she reacted and bowed to Ning Cheng, elder brother Ning, thank you for your kindness. There's no other way to detoxify the vein bone poison except for the heaven-extending vein bone pill. After that, she seemed to be afraid that Ning Cheng didn't understand and explained, not to mention that the medicinal herbs for the heaven-extending vein bone pill are extremely precious. Even if you obtained the medicinal herbs for the heaven-extending vein bone pill, it would be useless. Because the heaven-extending vein bone pill is a Tao transformation pill, it's also one of the most difficult Tao transformation pills to refine in the world. I'm afraid that even a Tao transformation pill sage can't refine the heaven-extending vein bone pill. Ning Cheng remained silent for a while before speaking. I can't guarantee that I can help you detoxify the vein bone poison. But if you believe me, then come with me to the Grand Essence Ruins rest stop and wait for a while. If you don't believe me, then please tell me what you need my help with. As long as it's within my power, I will definitely help you. The reason why Ning Cheng asked Lu Fanglin to wait for a while in the Grand Essence Ruins was because he felt sure that as long as he showed up, the Void Star Sect Master would immediately find him and ask him to help refine the heaven-extending vein bone pill. As long as the Void Star Sect Master asked him to refine the pill, then Lu Fanglin's vein bone poison could be cured. It's just that Lu Fanglin didn't quite believe him. The last time in the Medicine Valley, he said that he would help Lu Fanglin check her body, which made Lu Fanglin suspicious of him. If he insisted that Lu Fanglin wait with him, it would most likely backfire. Besides, everyone's fate was linked to their own decisions. If Lu Fanglin had to leave the Grand Essence Ruins public square, then he could only wish her good luck and help her fulfill her last wish. Lu Fanglin didn't expect that after she said that the heaven-extending vein bone pill was extremely difficult to refine, Ning Cheng would still say that he could help her detoxify it. If it were anyone else, they would most likely doubt Ning Cheng's motives. After looking at Ning Cheng's eyes for a while, she took in a deep breath and said, "Okay, I'll wait with you for 10 days. I can only suppress the vein bone poison for about a month at most. If I can't get rid of it in 10 days, I can't wait any longer. I have to save some time to do what I want to do." It wasn't that she believed that Ning Cheng could cure her vein bone poison, but that she really wanted Ning Cheng to help her with something. If she refused Ning Cheng's requests one after another, then even if Ning Cheng helped her, he wouldn't do his best. Ning Cheng showed a slight smile. If I can get rid of it, then I wouldn't have to wait for 10 days. If I can't get rid of it, then even waiting for 10 years wouldn't help me. If the Void Star sect could find the Grand Essence Ruins public square, then it wouldn't even take 10 days. If the Void Star sect's people still hadn't found them after 10 days, then it meant that the Void Star sect master had found someone else to refine pills for him. Lu Fanglin seemed to not have once again refused Ning Cheng's request, but after listening to Ning Cheng's words, she suddenly said, "If you really can detoxify the poison in my body, then I am willing to let you help me examine my body." Ning Cheng felt a little speechless. She spoke as if checking her body was some kind of welfare. "I'm helping you, not asking for welfare." But then again, checking Lu Fanglin's body really did seem like a welfare. Ning Cheng touched his chin and didn't know how to answer Lu Fanglin's words. Should he answer, "Yes," or "I'm helping you, not asking for welfare"? Qi Shixingsing walked over and patted Ning Cheng on the shoulder. "Ning Cheng, you're amazing. Elder sister Lu is the most attractive woman I've ever seen. Congratulations." At this moment, he seemed to have forgotten that he had just been chased like a stray dog by someone. "Don't talk nonsense. Gao friend Lu and I are in a mutually beneficial relationship. Shixingsing, let's go to the Grand Essence Ruins public square first. Let's go to the rest stop first." Ning Cheng quickly stopped Qi Shixingsing from talking nonsense. Qi Shixingsing immediately thought of his family's matters and no longer had the mood to joke around with Ning Cheng. His face sank again. Spirit Thunder Pavilion, the Grand Essence Ruins premier rest stop. Ning Cheng proposed that the three of them stay in a large room, and Lu Fanglin unexpectedly didn't raise any objections. No matter what Ning Cheng thought, it didn't affect her. The Spirit Thunder Pavilion had a large room with 7 or 8 smaller rooms inside. Everyone had their own room, and as long as Ning Cheng didn't go to her room, it wouldn't matter. Ning Cheng naturally wouldn't go to Lu Fanglin's room. As soon as he entered the rest stop, he chatted with Qi Shixingsing for most of the day. Qi Shixingsing's father had fallen victim to Grand Elder Fei Feng's plot during seclusion for a mysterious weapon. Qi Shixingsing's mother suffered serious injuries in order to save Qi Zhonggui. Despite her injuries, Qi Shixingsing's mother managed to escape with Qi Yuling. At the same time, he told Qi Yuling everything and gave her a jade strip. He also asked Qi Yuling to tell Qi Shixingsing not to return to the sect. He also asked Qi Shixingsing to find the famous Grand Essence Spirit Thunder in the Grand Essence realm according to the address on the jade strip. However, Qi Yuling didn't immediately go to her younger brother, Qi Shixingsing. Instead, she went to the Battle Shore Cliffs Wei clan. She wanted to find Wei He. However, before she arrived at the Battle Shore Cliffs Wei clan, she accidentally heard the news that the Wei clan supported Fei Feng and wanted to capture her and her brother. "What about your sister?" Ning Cheng quickly asked. Qi Shixingsing was being chased by 2 Dao Nourishment Holy Emperors, which meant that Qi Yuling's treatment wouldn't be any better. She said that she wanted to go to another place and told me not to worry and to focus on cultivation. I waited until I reached the Dao sculpting realm before coming out. After coming out, I prepared to go to the Grand Essence ruins, but I ended up being chased by those 2 fellows. Qi Shixingsing spoke those words, but he couldn't hide the worry in his eyes. Ning Cheng gave out a sigh, and gave a brief account of his own experiences. Just when the 2 were about to end their conversation, Lu Fanglin's voice came from outside the door, "Brother Ning, the Wei clan's people are here. They're now blocking our room." Now that Ning Cheng directly opened the restrictions on the room, they could only resign themselves to fate. The first to walk in was the Dao Essence Divine Emperor. He glanced at Ning Cheng and his eyes fell on Lu Fanglin. His eyes flashed with an imperceptible heat. Behind this Dao Essence Divine Emperor was Wei He and Wei Jingbing. Wei He nodded to Ning Cheng, indicating that everyone knew each other. "Why do you want to oppose my Wei family?" The Dao Essence Sacred Emperor's gaze quickly fell on Ning Cheng. As for Qi Shixingsing, he completely ignored him. Just as Wei Jingbing said, Ning Cheng really only had Dao molding Divine Emperor cultivation. Yet, he could defeat Wei Jingbing with such cultivation, which shocked him greatly. If this place was not the Divine Thunder House, he could have directly taken down Ning Cheng and then forced Ning Cheng to speak. But this was the Divine Thunder House, and his Wei family couldn't do anything casually. Ning Cheng walked to a chair in the living room and sat down. Then, he said with a smile, "Everyone, sit down and talk." He wasn't in a hurry. At least before Gong Yangdi arrived, he wouldn't rush to clash with the other party. He still had doubts in his heart. It stood to reason that his reputation shouldn't be this small. It was understandable that Wei Jingbing didn't know that he was a Dao Essence Pill Saint. But why didn't Wei He and this Dao Essence Divine Emperor know about him? This made Ning Cheng feel like a failure. Seeing Ning Cheng sit down, Lu Fanglin and Qi Shixingsing also sat down next to Ning Cheng. The 3 people from the Wei family seemed to know that Ning Cheng couldn't jump to the sky, so they also sat down. "Answer what I just said." The Dao Essence Divine Emperor of the Wei family didn't seem to have much patience. After sitting down, his tone turned a little harsh. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept towards Gong Yangdi and saw him hurriedly walking into the Divine Thunder House. Then, he spoke unhurriedly, I want to ask, why does your Wei family want to oppose me? Isn't your Wei family afraid of extinction? This Tao Essence Divine Emperor truly felt shocked by Ning Cheng's words. But he quickly reacted. No matter how strong Ning Cheng's background was, Ning Cheng was someone he could trample on in this place. Slap. This Tao Essence Divine Emperor slapped the tea table in front of him to pieces. What courage! Do you think that I, Wei Qi, can't do anything to you in this Divine Thunder House? Believe it or not, even if I kill you, I'll just have to apologize to the Divine Thunder House. Ning Cheng replied calmly. I don't believe it. Wei Qi suddenly stood up. But before he could do anything, a cold voice arrived, not to mention you, Wei Qi, even your Wei family can't do anything to Brother Ning. Gong Yangdi felt happy in his heart. The Wei family only had 2 Tao Essence Divine Emperors, and both were ordinary early-stage Tao Essence Divine Emperors. Moreover, they were ordinary early-stage Tao Essence Divine Emperors. He also knew about this Wei Qi. Usually, he would greet him politely when they met. He didn't expect this fellow to be so rude to Pill Sage Ning. It was simply giving him a favor. In front of the Grand Essence Ruins public square, the Wei family was nothing. As long as he forced the Wei family to retreat, Ning Cheng would owe him a favor. Brother Gong. Wei Qi immediately recognized Gong Yangdi at the door and stood up with a look of surprise. He could act arrogant in front of Ning Cheng, but he didn't dare to act arrogant in front of Gong Yangdi. Gong Yangdi ignored him and only looked at the pile of debris in front of him. He chuckled, Daoist Wei really has a bad temper. Once you are angry, you smashed the things in Brother Ning's house. Good skill, good skill. Wei Qi's heart sank. He naturally knew about Gong Yangdi's shrewdness. This person would never offend Wei Qi for no reason. Could it be that something had happened during the time he was away? He subconsciously looked at Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng only had a Tao sculpting Holy Emperor cultivation. How could he call Gong Yangdi a brother? Qi Shixingsing and Lu Fonglin, who stood on the side, had their mouths wide open. No wonder Ning Cheng didn't fear the Wei family and even dared to let Wei Qi in. It turned out that he knew Gong Yangdi of the Grand Essence Ruins public square. Who was Gong Yangdi? He was the deacon of the Grand Essence Ruins public square. Brother Gong, I didn't know that Ning Cheng knew you. But because he took away my Wei clan's Wei He's Tao companion, I chased him all the way here to ask for justice. No matter what the relationship between Ning Cheng and Gong Yangdi was, Wei Qi decided to grasp the truth first. Ning Cheng chuckled and spoke, oh, then who do you think the person I abducted is? It's her. She's Wei He's Tao companion, but you took her away. That's why we came here. Wei Jingbing pointed to Lu Fonglin next to Ning Cheng. Bullshit. Lu Fonglin suddenly stood up and pointed at Wei Jingbing with a blue face, your Wei clan is a bunch of beasts, shameless things. My husband is Tu Qinfei of the Heavenly Dipper Pill sect. Your Wei clan and the Heavenly Dipper Pill sect secretly killed Tu Qinfei and then forced me to marry into the Wei clan. Shameless beasts. Qi Shixingsing, who stood on the side, suddenly spoke up, Wei clan is indeed a bunch of beasts. Wei He, one day in the future, I will peel off your skin and seek justice for my sister. Wei He's face turned green, but he kept his mouth shut, not saying a single word. Wei Qi was overflowing with killing intent, but he did not dare to make a move. If Gong Yangdi was not here, he would have attacked long ago. Now that Gong Yangdi was here, he did not dare to move. Sensing Wei Qi's killing intent, Gong Yangdi frowned slightly. He really wanted to make friends with Ning Cheng, and this was an opportunity for him to do so. However, he did not want to directly start a fight with the Wei clan. It would be best if he could scare off Wei Qi. At this moment, a voice rang out from the door of Ning Cheng's room, Pill Sage Ning, long time no see. Void Star Sect's Wu Buffeng has come to visit. There were 3 people standing at the door. They were Percy, the black-faced sect master of the Void Star Sect, Wu Buffeng, and the skeleton-like man. No seal. Not only was Wei Qi stunned, even Gong Yangdi was slightly shocked. Gong Yangdi only knew that Ning Cheng was a Tao Essence Pill Saint. But because he had always been in the Grand Essence ruins, he didn't know much about the Void Star Sect's pill request. Who was Wu Buffeng? The sect master of the mysterious Void Star Sect was a primordial chaos expert. Why would such an expert come to visit Ning Cheng? Gong Yangdi also recalled that Ning Cheng was a Tao Essence Pill Saint. Although he felt shocked, he could understand it. However, Wei Qi and the others didn't understand. At this moment, Wei Qi not only felt shocked, but also felt endless fear. A primordial chaos expert could destroy Zhan Binya's Wei clan with just a wave of his hand. What made Wu Buffeng feel relieved was that Ning Cheng's attitude was much better than it was during the Pill Discussion Grand Assembly. After seeing the 3 of them, Ning Cheng quickly stood up and spoke with a smile on his face, "So it's Sect Master Wu. Please come in." The Wu Buffeng trio naturally saw the broken tea table in front of Wei Qi. However, they also came to visit Ning Cheng and didn't know what happened here. As such, they couldn't speak carelessly. Wei Qi finally sobered up and quickly bowed to Wu Buffeng. He then cupped his fists towards Ning Cheng and said, "Pill Sage Ning, since you have a guest today, we won't disturb you. Do you want to visit another day?" Ning Cheng spoke with an indifferent tone. Cold sweat oozed out of Wei Qi's forehead. "I don't dare, I don't dare." When he heard Wu Buffeng address Ning Cheng as Pill Sage, he had a vague guess in his heart. Therefore, he wanted to go out and investigate Ning Cheng thoroughly. Ning Cheng chuckled, "Don't dare." Pa. Ning Cheng suddenly became angry and smashed the tea table in front of him. "I think you, Wei Qi, are quite daring." Wei Qi felt a chill in his heart. Ning Cheng dared to smash the table in front of the Void Star Sect Master and Gong Yangdi, which showed how much confidence he had. "Pill Sage Ning, I apologize to you." Wei Qi didn't ask for any reason and just bowed his head and admitted his mistake. Ning Cheng acted as if he didn't see it and still spoke, "You came to snatch a beauty from me and damaged my top-grade artifact. What's the use of apologizing? Do you want me to raise your Wei clan to the ground and then go to your grave to apologize?" You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.